to you is you dated 10 months without that understanding. I don't want, my time is more valuable than that. And your time is more valuable than that. And I tried to say to you, why spend that time without knowing where you guys were at? Now you're just spending time, money without anything established. I tried to cut it off at 3 dates so I don't get to that point. Because the one thing, you can lose money and make more money. You can lose friends and get more friends. Time is the only thing that you can never get back. And that's why you shouldn't waste it.
Okay, Fearless, I hear you on that. What I do give you your flowers for was, Chris, could you please have that conversation before New Year's Eve? I give you that. But let me go back to your direct point about the 3-date rule. If we cut this off, Fearless, at 3 dates, I don't make the breakthrough that I did. And I know you don't see the value in it, but I'm saying the problem is if I would have dated, if we would have got things on track and maybe broke up next year, it still would have been, what did Chris really get out of this? Whatever the heck. I'm saying I got a lot, but I'm saying, and I'm going to be making changes too. It was a great experience, and I'm glad it didn't go into 2025. She's a great person, but I'm saying changes will be made. I think the problem with living, shout out to Travis Hunter, the problem with living and promoting your relationship in the public eye is people get to come back and they get to kind of like have their what do they call it, pound of flesh when things don't work out and say, oh, I knew this was going to do. So what I'm saying is this: dating can be a little bit more complicated than people want to give it credit to. It's not that like everything went bad. It's just that, in Fearless, I want to say this: dating is a competition within yourself. It's a competition with you and her suitors. It's a competition between you and her. And it doesn't mean that just because this didn't work out that it's a complete failure. It's trash. Like, I should have left at 3 dates. No, like, I would have missed out on a lot of great memories. I would have missed on the breakthrough that I've become a stronger person. That didn't happen in 3 dates.
What it could have saved you, Chris, is what I'm saying is you failed to ask the necessary questions early on in the date. In the dating process, you could have said, "Hey, do you want children? Do you want this? Is this where we're going?"
Those were asked. Those were asked, Ronan. I mean, Fearless. I said,
it's okay. I'm here too.
I said, yeah, you're here too. I like the little AI Abby, Ronan, but what I'm trying to say, you look like Mr. Miyagi. But what I'm trying to say is this: we had those conversations, Fearless. We did. If you guys got to talk to her, we had those conversations. The last time I really pressed about, hey, what's going on? How are we doing? Was July 4th. And after that, she at that date, she said, I said, hey, how are things going? Are your needs getting met? How am I doing? And she said, what you're giving me is not exactly what I would have expected, but it's good for now. And once my divorce is final, I will, I'm going to approach you and want to take things to the next level, and what we're giving now is not going to be good enough because I'm going to expect exclusivity and blah 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 blah. So I said, okay, I think we're going good for now, but I think that there were different other struggles since July 4th to now, and you, like I said, dating, there's no crying and courting, and this is one simply that just didn't go the distance. It didn't get to where it needed to get to. It gave me some things that I get to take away from, but a lot the luxury that most people have, Fearless and Ronan and everyone else's, they're not dating in the public eye.
All right, well, let's talk about that, Chris. I'll ask you a question. You know, the whole bunch of things went on this weekend about Travis Hunter.
Okay.
And people are saying to Travis, Shannon Sharp, all of them are saying, man, we can see what you can't see. We can see it because we've been there. And everybody that has been on this panel has told you that. Mm-hmm. American Live has told you that. I've told you that. Your therapist has told you that. Mm. We are seeing it. We are seeing what you can't see, but you refuse to.
But, we spoke about Travis Hunter earlier. We said, Shannon Sharp said that you quoted, he said, stay out of their business. He's got Deion Sanders in his camp. He's got this, he's got that. And what really helped me was, surrounding myself with great people, y'all giving great advice. It really wasn't until I had someone come in around Thanksgiving that I got close to, and she kind of like was really able to connect with me and get me to understand. and I had talks with my best friend, and I had some talks with some other people. The person who I consider the hand in my life, one of the problems that I did this year was her and I didn't speak for months at a time for multiple times this year. By the time I pulled her back into the fold, she was like, I don't like what's going on here, whatever the heck. But it's like, I had to go through this, and there will be changes going forward. Where I settled on it, Fearless, was I don't think that the married woman was malicious, or I don't think she was a user. I just think that she's in a different part of her divorce journey than me. When I was going through my divorce, I was just like her. I just wanted fun. But I was more vocal in telling people I don't want a long-term relationship. So me walking away was just saying, I realized that she's been giving me little different signs, like, hey, I'm not in a rush to get married. It wasn't until she said, hey, I changed my mind on having kids. I said, it's a wrap. It's time to. And I told her, I wish I would have talked. We would talk a little bit more. I could have maybe gotten to this outcome. And she said, no, that's not true. I made up my mind over Thanksgiving. So this talking wouldn't have done anything. What you guys were on a stream, what I'm going to do going forward now is the married woman kind of messed it up a little bit for everyone else, and helped me, because I'm now going to get more comfortable saying, if the energy changes at 2 months, 4 months, 8 months, 3, 9, 3, 6, 9, 12, I'm going to say, hey, let's take a step back. Let's talk. What happened? Why did it happen? My needs are not getting met. Let's address that. If we get pushback on that, maybe it's time to leave. So what I did was, I said earlier on the stream, I said, I chased the dragon, what they say in betting. When you lose your money at the table, you see guys come back with $5,000. They just lost $1,000. They come back with $2,000. I said, I saw the energy change. And instead of trying to have that conversation, then I said, let's try. I'm assuming it's another guy that she's talking to, because we were not exclusively dating. And I said, let me up the ante on my effort, beat him out or hims out, and then get back to things. But like I said, it's a learning lesson. It's a lesson of life.
But we told you that, Chris. And what you told us?
Yeah.
You told us you was Thor, and no matter what, you're going to pull that hammer. And we said, man, you're not the person to get the hammer. You're like, that's what you said. You said you was going to keep pulling that hammer no matter what we told you.
The hammer will get lifted, not today, but it will get lifted. Let's be clear about that.
And what we're supposed to do as men, and when you're fathers or whomever, the goal is, I've touched the stove. I know the stove is hot. What I try to tell you is, you don't have to touch the stove, Chris, to know it's hot.
Right.
Meaning, we're trying to save you the heartbreak, the ache, the things that we have already been through as other men, to say, brother, you don't have to touch the stove. We touched it for you.
That's not true, Fearless.
Why do you say that, Richard?
You got to touch the stove.
Yeah, so what I told the woman who came into my life from St. Louis, I said, as someone who I consider myself feral, I said I had to see this pattern, and now this is going to change how I approach it going forward. And after dating the married woman and stopping the dating, and I would consider it breaking up, I called the woman from St. Louis and I told her, I remember now when you told me in 2021 that I wasn't ready to date you. I know what you mean now. I was in no way ready. I'm a different person now. And dating the married woman helps me realize I'm not dating anybody who's going through a divorce ever again. Not because they're not great people, not because they don't want to try to get to the same goal as you. They might not be on the same time frame as you. They really just want fun. And I told people on the stream earlier, I said, if this was the 2021, 2022, Chris, I'm going straight into New Year's Eve smoking. Red hot.
Chris, do you recall when we went and broke down the timetable, because we were talking about having children?
Right.
There was a whole podcast about this, and having children at certain ages. And we said, well, what's your timetable? You wanted to have an organic child.
Right.
Then you said, I'm not opposed to having an adoptive child if I can't have one based on who I'm dating.
Right.
And we broke down this timetable with this married woman. We said, well, look, if she's not divorced, she's going to get through her divorce, and she's going to want some time before she gets back into another relationship.
Absolutely.
Then she's going to want some time before she might even be prepared to even want to give you a child. And I said, we're going down this road where there's more and more time to be given to her, where your needs aren't being met, and you're substituting the things you want to benefit her. We talked about all these things.
I have a question for Ron.
No, I want to respond to that. The difference is, Ronan, I spoke about this earlier on the stream. Where I'm at in my journey, I was willing to wait. As long as our goals still aligned, as long as she said, things, as long as my needs were getting met, as long as she still wanted to have a kid, I was willing to wait. If I were to take y'all's advice and say, go date someone who's 30, 20, 35, or whatever the heck, they might say, I'm not, in a rush to have a kid. I might need to wait a year or two. I'll be in the same boat. I'm about to enter the same boat.
Actually, the year would have been up and they would have been
Chris, no, because if you remember what we told you on that same live is, we said, man, you have to date with a purpose, and you should be eliminating specific people who are not on the same path as you and who want the same things as you. If you're talking to a woman and she says, I don't want a kid, or I'm not ready for that, those people need to be eliminated from your dating pool immediately, because they are not on the same mindset as you. You need to date with a purpose and only date people who have the same mindset as you. That's what we told you.
No, I'm saying, I think we're saying the same thing. One second. Because we're going to go to your question too, especially the one, is it over for Chris? But I want to say this.
It's over.
The people that I date that are now going to be, now that I told you on the last stream, whenever I stop dating the married woman, I'm going to be making serious changes. We're not dating 40. We're not dating 45. We're not dating 50. We're not dating 37, 39, whatever the heck. We're dating younger.
We said that, Chris. You said you're coming home, baby. You're coming home. Welcome home.
How young are you going?
Hold on. We're 36 and younger. We got some nice tenderonis that are 33, 35.
We said you coming home, baby. We just tried to save you a trip.
Hold up.
We tried to save you a trip, baby.
Hold up. The older the berry, the sweeter the juice. Okay. What I'm trying to say
only
is,
applies in certain things, brother.
But it definitely applies in women. But what I want to say is this: I did the best I could, and I said earlier on the stream, don't rule out that if the right woman, if Cinderella slides through and she's 39 and she wants to have a kid and things are working, she might just get picked. That slipper might just get picked. But I'm just saying, I'm going to be changing my dating approach. I'm going to be dating younger. It pains me to do that. I don't want to have to do that.
Why? You have certain goals that you want to meet as a man. Why does that have to pain you to do those things?
I wanted to address what Fearless said too. When you date someone who has the same goals in mind and they're significantly younger than you, like if I were to pull a Fearless and date someone, he said he met someone 13 years, 10 years younger than him. I'm 42. If I were to meet a 32-year-old, a 32-year-old or a 30-year-old might say, I want a couple years before I want to have kids. I don't want to have a kid at 30. I want to have a kid at 34 or whatever.
Then you don't date them. That's not, you eliminate them.
I had a question for Fearless and Ronan.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
It's always a pleasure to be on a panel with you guys, especially when you come up to this panel.
Appreciate you.
Are you guys married?
Yes, brother. You didn't know I was married? I'm married.
I did, but I've been on your panel, watched your show. Not been on your panel, watched your show. Both you guys are married, right?
No, I'm not married currently. I've been married twice, and I'm going to go for 3. By 2025, most likely towards the end of the year, I'll be married. Again,
it's too late for you. It's too late for you too, but
no, it's not too late for me, brother. It's never too late.
He's going overseas, so it's definitely not too late.
Yeah, it's not too late.
It's too late.
That's the lead.
But listen, I wanted to ask you guys, as men on the panel, who've been with women for a period of time. I was married, not very long. Have you ever thought about a woman's perspective about you? About
Absolutely.
you?
Yes.
Yeah.
I have.
Absolutely.
You, right?
Yes.
That guy around the house.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would marry me. I'm a difficult person to get along with.
Here's the thing. Here's where I know I've done well for myself.
Wait. Full pause. Who said that?
That was
Fearless.
Here's the thing. I've done a full assessment.
Ronan, how would you respond to his response?
Well, here's the thing.
Would you marry you?
Absolutely.
You would marry you?
Absolutely. Yeah. You know why?
Your
each
money?
time I've left a relationship, no, it has nothing to do with money. Each time I've left a relationship, I've gone through a time of reassessment. I've done therapy. I made sure I wasn't taking any trauma or traumatic different situations that came out of one relationship into another.
And you're a retired vet.
Pause. Yes, I'm a retired vet.
Yeah.
And then here's the thing. Every woman I've ever broken up with, whether I was married to her or not, have always come back. Always.
Hey, I joke with the song, Teach Me How to Dougie, All My Exes Love Me.
Yeah.
All my exes love me.
Yeah.
All my exes love me.
So how do I know that I can marry myself? Is because from my ex-wives to my ex-girlfriends, they have all doubled back and tried to get me back.
All my exes love me. I got to get to your homeboy though. I got to get to your compadre though. Felix, what you just said about marrying you.
I figured. Do you remember the movie? Was it Remember the Titans?
Yep.
I think he said something like, "I'm like Novocaine. It's gonna wear. It's gonna just give it a little time.
It's gonna wear off after a while.
Yeah, it's gonna work in a little bit." And I think that's what the women in my life find out. So,
but it's gonna wear off after a while. It's gonna
wear off. But I think what they find out is that the things that I say and the things that I do. Yeah, the things that I say and do, they realize, man, that did work. They see it in a new light. So I'll give you an example. Like when my wife was pregnant, she's like, "What kind of dad are you going to be? You don't talk to my stomach." Like, what the hell I'm talking to your stomach for? I'm talking to your stomach every night. What I'm doing. So in her mind, she could not see, well, what kind of father you would be. And now when she sees me with my daughter, she tells me like, "Man, I made the best choice of my life." Because it's like how I spoil my daughter, how she wants to be with me, how she's there. And so even in relationships, when thresholds are met or when things take place, because a lot of times a woman can't see that far in the future. And when they see those.
What do you mean by that though, Phyllis? What do you mean by that?
For instance, I'll tell you, like when I made a move, when I said, look, I got to make a move. Yeah. Because a lot of women see the here and now.
They're at least 9 months in the future.
What's that?
They're at least 9 months.
Oh, but when you talk about, I'm not talking about months. I'm talking about years. I'm talking about lifetimes. Meaning, I have to plan. I have to plan not only for this year. I got to plan for the next 5 years, the next 10 years, and the way that, the things that I have to look ahead to. And so those are things that I don't think that someone can see. When you
you think that women don't see that far in the future? You honestly think that?
Oh, no, I don't think so. I don't think so. Mm-mm.
That women don't see that far, like 9 months, 1 year.
Are you being sarcastic right now, or are you being serious?
Because if they seen that far in the future, then they would date the guy with the potential and not meet him at the finish line.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, Ronan, you asked me that question. I would like to sell that back to me. You're telling me that women don't think that
you're talking about an analytical thinker. Most women are not analytical; they're emotional.
You actually believe that?
Yes, absolutely. That's what I said. Are you being sarcastic?
Not at all.
Okay, so then that means very few women are analytical thinkers. They're very emotional. They work off of feelings and different things. But to plan out something where you could see 5, 10 years down the road and take necessary steps to execute exactly where you want to be in those points in time.
Ronan, you actually think that?
I absolutely do.
They raise your babies.
Oh, and that's why they raise them the way they do. We just did a show on that where a girl was like, there was a 5-year-old. Hold up, where there was a girl. Yeah, and this is what happens. This little boy was playing football, and they were in a huddle, and they passed around water, and the water got in his eye, and he started crying. The woman there is like, oh, I gotta save him. I gotta do that, because she can only see his hurt at that moment. As a man, you say, bro. That's not hurting you, because we look how he's going to be as a man. We don't see him as a kid. We have to see how he's going to be as a man. And the women on the show was like, it shouldn't be where, they're teasing the boys and it starts at home. And I said, the reason a father would say to his son, I don't want you to cry, I don't want you to be strong, is because we already know when we send him out to the world, how he's going to be bullied by other kids. How he's going to be treated.
Did you have a father like that, Felix?
That said what?
What you just said. Did you have a father like that who said, hey?
Oh, yeah. Yes, my father would say there's a difference between injury and being hurt. Brother, if you just fell down, you ain't really hurt. Get up. Get back on the horse. Let's do it again.
Ronan, did you have a father like that?
I have family like that. It wasn't just my father.
That's cool. Chris.
Yep. No, I'm saying.
Shit, I had a brother that used to pay this dude who was 2 years older than me to beat me up.
We talked about rites of passage in the other on the other panel just a minute ago. A lot of cultures have rites of passage. They take their child away from the mother, who would automatically want to coddle and protect that son from any hurt, harm, or pain. But we know as men, there's certain things you're going to have to experience in the wilderness, or certain things you're going to have to experience in life. For men, life is pain.
I mean,
but so it counteracts and it's intuitive against a woman.
Ronan, you know, I'm in Thailand, and the Buddhists believe that.
Right, I
life
understand.
Is pain.
Right,
yeah.
But the whole thing is, women will want to protect their children, especially a male child, from that, and that's not what you do. Indians used to go out and they would hunt, and then they would kill a deer or whatever, eat the heart. And then even at some warriors, but before you became warrior class, what did you have to do? Be hung by the arrows that were stuck in your chest. You think
I saw that movie.
Like that? You think mothers are going to let their children go to that? Look at the Spartans. The Spartans would take their children and throw them out in the wilderness, say survive for 30 days. Yeah, there's so many different rites of passage that we don't do anymore here. And I know growing up, I was taught how to hunt. I was taught how to fish, tied certain knots. I was taught how to go camping, start a fire from nothing. I was taught so many different things as a young man.
Were you taught that through the military? Because I know you're retired military.
I was taught a whole bunch of stuff in the military as well, but I was taught this before I even went in the military.
How about you, Phyllis?
I did a show where I showed that. I even when I was on the Austin show, I showed my deer. When I used to go out, before I could have a bow or anything in my hand, I used to have to scout. My dad used to be like, all right, walk. What signs are those? Is that a rub? What kind of droppings are those? All of those things were done. All right, if he killed the deer, how do I skin the deer? How do I get the thing out? How do I go to the butcher? All of those things were taught because those are rites of passage. So you learn how to be independent. You learned how it's Saturday morning, bruh. It's time to cut the grass. This is how I need you to cut the grass. This is how you wash the car. These are the things that you do. And Chris, what I put inside of the chat there, if you can play that, that might help answer American Live's question as to why there is a difference.
Y'all can call me Richard.
And this is a bar that he dropped on me. And it crushed me. But I needed that. He said, if you really loved me the way that you said you loved me, you would have taught me how to survive in the situations that you were afraid of killing me, instead of protecting me and not teaching me how to protect myself. And that is what happens when mothers think that they can raise men. We don't teach them how to protect themselves the way that a man teaches a man how to protect himself. What we do is we coddle them, and we become this wall of security that come crashing down when they get to smelling themselves and they in their 18s and 19s, and now he can't live in your house no more, and you send him out into the world unprotected, and that's why he resents you.
Okay, I mean, there's a lot to be said about this. I mean, I hear what y'all saying about the Boy Scouts and learn how to make fire from naked and afraid type of situations. I get that. I hear y'all on that, but there's more than one way to skin a cat, Ronan and Fearless.
Does that mean you don't know how to make a fire or tie a knot, Chris?
I was a Boy Scout, but I'm saying that stuff is kind of highly overrated.
It's not overrated, Chris.
It's good. It's great. It's a great survival skill, but I'm like, we're in modern times. But what I'm trying to say is I hear what they're saying about the rites of passage. But people are doing that in different ways. I'm saying, because you guys described a couple of them. You said, hey, there's situations where the family they take the boy out.
How many fathers are taking their sons and teaching them how to work on an engine, change a tire? How many fathers are taking their sons and helping them learn how to build a building or put up drywall? That's what my father taught me.
Okay, but that's great.
How to use a drill, how to use a saw.
Okay. That's great. My father didn't teach me how to use a drill. I learned how to do it on my own, and I'm great at it. And I love doing it.
That matters, Chris. That matters. That matters. Yeah, that matters. That's no less.
It's also part of the bonding that you have with your father and manhood.
But can I share with you, gentlemen?
But no, what I want to say to what I want to say to Ronan is sometimes, Ronan, when you have a provider dad, not every single provider dad is at home to be able to have that kind of time to have those experiences.
Right.
Like if you have an NBA player dad, he can't do that. Go ahead.
My dad wasn't.
My
dad worked a lot of hours.
Yeah.
Throughout his life.
I had uncles. I had grandfathers. Yeah. I had people around me. I had people in the church. I mean, literally,
someone who cared for you, saw your potential.
That was back in the day where it took a village to raise a kid. I mean, but you were trusted. They were trusted to do those things. Now mothers don't even allow you to say or correct their child. Don't you say anything to my child? How dare you? But back then, absolutely, everybody in the church, they always had men's groups that would take the kids out to go camping or go fishing or whatever. So where are those programs now? How do you know all these kids are actually getting those things? They're not.
Well,
I wanted to speak to the rite of passage part.
Mm-hmm.
We have a lot of good, proud men up here, good black men, good brothers up here tonight throughout this broadcast. But your final rite of passage to adulthood is probably burying your parents. Probably.
Do you think that's when you become a man, when you bury your father?
Well, that's when I did. Fearless.
You see how there's different rites of passages? See what I'm saying?
Check this out, Fearless.
No, I think he's saying that what that means, Chris, is you always live in the shadow of your father until they're gone. And then you become your own man.
Part of that rite of passage, I'll just speak to my experience from a silver spoon baby, was when I was in college learning everything that I'm going to get. I learned it before college was coming from privilege, you're not guaranteed to have privilege as yourself. You're guaranteed to get what your dad.
You have an opportunity.
You will have an easier opportunity. You will have resources.
You're only safe in baseball.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is, when I was in college, it dawned on me. I'm like, I have to hustle. I can't get. My dad's not gonna be able to get me a job in IT. He's not gonna be able to get me a promotion in IT or something. I have to hustle. He's not gonna be able to get that. But what he did do is allowed me to be able to get to college full, not have to worry about scholarships, not have to worry about resources, stuff like that. That's a huge lift.
No, but Chris, all he did was give you a rite of passage, meaning I can say if I was a young kid, I say I can't kill that deer for you. All I can do is give you the skills to do it yourself. And that's what your dad did. He gave you the skills and put you in a position so that you could succeed.
Well, can we say the same thing that the mom's doing the same thing if she raises the son?
A lot of them don't.
At times, but sometimes there is a woman warrior who will give you that rite of passage, and that's okay too, and that's life, based on how life works.
Can you every 24 hours a warrior would give to a man to make him give him the rite of passage? What warrior woman? What would that be? What would that look like? Give us a picture of that.
Well, Harriet Tubman.
Oh,
we going way back.
Yeah. Way back. I can give you an anecdote.
I'm that way back, you homie. I'm that way back guy.
I can give you an anecdotal experience. My late maternal grandmother,
my grandmother's father,
when we were probably 8 and younger, she built our self-confidence to not let the world beat it down and make us feel confident in ourselves. That's where I think a lot of the kids across all generations are kind of getting lost. Is like they don't really have high self-confidence. Mine is, y'all saw, I'm gonna follow what I want. I'm going to pursue what I want. I'm not going to let some other person tell me I don't deserve it. I'm not going to let someone else tell me that it's a waste of my time. I want what I want, and I'm going to go after it. So it might not have worked this time, but when I find the person who's on the same time frame, who's not playing around about me, it's going to work. And it's going to work because I got myself to a place where I'm not playing around and dating at all. The older Chris, I was just like the married woman. I was here for a fun time. The problem is the people, when they see something in dating that is rare or is of value, they want to snatch you off the shore, like they want to snatch you off the shelf like a doorbuster. The problem is in 2021, I wasn't ready to. They got me off the shelf, but I didn't have much to bring besides fun. I couldn't give you the monogamy. I couldn't give you the commitment. I couldn't give you and show up 100%. Not.
Well, that's because you haven't found yourself yet, Chris.
Well,
And
no, as I said,
being alone, a little bit of loneliness will help you with that.
As I said,
I gotta say, I've lost and I've won in love.
As I said,
I've won and I've lost.
I think it was Richard Pryor that said something like that. Like, you don't become a man until, all that hurting goes. So you can.
You heard me?
Well,
hey, listen, man, you gotta hurt.
What I'm saying is,
hurt.
Yeah, I agree with you have to hurt. What I'm saying is everybody
gotta feel it.
Everybody who's going through a divorce has a journey. And I have gone on my journey almost 3 years. Married woman is, hers is just beginning. And it takes different experiences. You have to face the path to getting back to remarriage is facing yourself and facing your flaws. I'm continuing to do that.
But Chris, we told you that was not your journey to take with her. That's what we kept trying to say. That was her journey, not your journey.
Yeah. You were her journey.
You keep saying it like, oh, she's going through this journey and she's going through that, and I went through it. That's her journey to go through, and you kept trying to go through it with her.
No, but what I'm saying is, what I'm trying to say, Fearless, is her journey is going to. Who knows how long it's going to take for her to get remarried or whatever.
Exactly, and it wasn't for you. It wasn't. You kept saying it was necessary for her to wait to go through her journey, and we kept saying no. That's not your responsibility to wait. She needs to go through her journey, and you need to go through yours.
I agree with you, but with a caveat. I'm saying, now that I learned that we were not compatible on the thing that was a non-negotiable for me, and I learned it at the last second, I agree with you on that. I'm not saying, when I first met her, just even when before we connected, I said, oh, she's going through a divorce. I know what she's going through. I just want to be a good friend. I just want to help her maybe see that there's some great people out here, and just get to maybe only finish. And I said, I just want to kind of casually date and just get to know her. And then when I got to know her, I was like, I think I see some potential.
That's the caveat.
But let me finish. I didn't realize this person might not be ready. This person might change their mind. I am not prepared, and I don't want to, and I'm not going to, Fearless and Ronan, be on her. I'm no longer on her journey. I was on her journey for a year. Her journey might be 3, 4, 5 years. My journey is 3 years come the end of this month. Not everybody that I've dated is still on my journey. And that's what they affected it. They affected it in a positive way.
I think what happened is, and maybe you had some discord for Ronan and I, and you, because of that discord, you didn't listen to the message. You were mad at the messenger and failed to listen to. No.
Let me interrupt real quick.
But I say that I think that's what happened because
you pressed me, Fearless, to have a conversation before New Year's. I followed that. I listened to that and it stuck in my head. And I said, you know what? I don't want to have that conversation, but you know what? It is kind of. I think it is work. It is necessary. I think it's good information to know. And when I asked that, I got the information I needed to know, and I made a decision from that immediately.
Chris, do you have Amazon Prime?
Yes.
Okay, I'll be waiting for my Christmas present since I helped you out, brother. My Christmas present.
But okay, maybe. Yeah, I'll think about it. But
I think the rites of passage, Chris, is everyone on the panel seeing what you couldn't see.
Right.
And I think you became blinded to it. And I think sometimes you have to step back and say, man, maybe, and that's what I meant when I said Travis Hunter. There's a lot of people can see what he can't see. And they're not giving him bad advice. They're just saying, hey, man, we see something you don't.
Right.
And that's all we tried to tell you.
All I'm trying to say is,
the one thing about advice when you're talking to grown people is they don't listen.
Yeah.
And you might have the best plan and the best layout for how they can live their lives. What makes these type of forums beautiful is we get to express our own experiences and share with people who may agree with us or don't. But you're right. In the end, you have your experience and you're right in your experience. Other people might not be on the same page. That's okay. But we're trying to help you, Chris. It is our goal. And you keep using this word caveat, so I had to look it up. A caveat is a warning. When someone adds a caveat to something, they're telling you to beware. maybe what they're telling you comes with certain conditions, or maybe there's something dangerous lurking.
Yeah.
So get rid of your caveats.
What I'm similar to what
They're complicated.
similar to what
Get rid of your conditions about your relationship status. Get rid of all of that bullshit. If you want somebody in your life, you're going to accept them with their luggage, with their baggage, or not.
Yeah, I mean,
all of my life has been that, and I dated lots of different girls.
Right.
And I understand that if I accept you into my crib alone, let you come spend the weekend with me, I might have my caveats, but I might have to throw them out the window, depending on how I made my choice.
Yeah.
My choice, my decision to let you come into my home, my decision to let you come into my space, my life, my circle of influence. If I take you to a pool hall meeting and we're shooting pool, those are all your conscious decisions. They're all within your ability to control what happens after those decisions. And what I think I hear a lot from Chris and a lot of people dating, including Austin Hollerman type dudes, is you're making the wrong decisions about your heart.
Yeah.
We're men. I think Ronan and Fearless have expressed the fact that we don't live off our heart. We don't live off our feelings.
I don't know. I don't like that.
We have feelings, but don't just live off your feelings as a man.
Correct.
You got to live off your logic as well. You got to live off the fact that you understand how things work in the world, what leadership is about. So you don't ever want to be in a position where you are behind the 8 ball. Sorry, guys.
And I think that's what I was referring to, Richard, when we were talking about women can't see, because my wife would have made a decision based on her emotion, and I had to make the decision based on logic.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
I think
because that's what men do.
Correct.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I hear it. I hear it. What I'm trying to say is this: I appreciate the insights, the advice, things like that. I think that it's a very fine line, guys, when you're not dating someone who's malicious, you're not dating someone who's physically hurting you. You are enjoying that time, and sometimes those experiences, it's almost like telling someone you shouldn't major in this, you should major in that. They sometimes have to hit that wall to say, you know what, this is a dead end. This is not going to go. This is not really the thing that's best for me. And you have to kind of pivot. So like I dated the married woman. And as soon as I got the information, I was kind of like, okay, this is not the path forward anymore. How, and then talking to friends the next day, I was like, okay, it ends now. Like we're not keeping her in my life as a person that we're going to hang out with anymore.
So Chris, what's your corrective adjustment now that you've done this?
Yeah.
You've gone 11 months.
Mm-hmm.
You don't like Fearless's 3-date rule. What's your time limit?
It's a good point. And I think I tried to say it before you came. I said, now dating, one of the benefits of dating the married woman was, I was a person that used to just try to enjoy, just court and have fun and try to give high effort.
I said use court and a married woman at the same time because
whatever. We know this is a person going through a divorce. There's definitely a gray area that you can do that. It's fine, and she's in that gray area. I was in it too. It's over. It's done. It's dead. But what I was trying to say is that if I told someone, I told you all on the stream, y'all weren't in your own stream. I said, let's say if I'd never dated the married woman and I dated someone who was ready to, who was not married, or they were married and they were divorced and they were ready to get married and they were ready to take it very seriously, I would not have built the skill to say, why we need to have these conversations, why on a timely basis, and why we need to advocate for our needs getting met. This is the first person I dated. She's a great woman, but I think there was kind of some chemistry challenges. And this is the first person I dated where affection was was awkward on both sides. Needs were not getting met definitely on both sides. So I have to make those adjustments. But to your questions directly, now as after dating the married woman, it's going to be one, I'm not dating any more people going into a divorce. That's not happening again.
Congratulations.
Two every 2, 4, 5, 6, 3, 6, 9, 12. If I see energy change in between those periods, we're going to have a conversation. And like I said, I'm typically kind of like a conflict avoidant person.
So every 2 months is your number.
No. Within those periods, let's just take the time frames out of it. If there's any period where I see the energy,
but we can't, because if you're dating with a purpose, you are on a timetable.
No, what I'm trying to say is like, you're right. When you first meet, like when I met the married woman, we talked. We both wanted. She had a kid. She understood exactly how I felt about wanting a family. She understood that. She said, "I'm willing to adopt. I'm willing to surrogate." Where I think I started seeing it go off the rails was when I started doing the homework on adoption. It's like 40 to 70 grand, and it's going to get more expensive. And I was like, that's kind of a little bit of a barrier. But the thing is, I'm gonna talk more. The hard thing about it, Ronan, is when you first start dating people, you can't just put something in a box and say, hey, by 2 years we need to be married and have a kid. You can't necessarily lock that down. What if that person's time frame is 3?
Then it's not your time
it's
frame.
not your person.
Why do you keep consolidating and conceding to somebody else's
thing.
time frame,
you
man?
keep adjusting for them.
Correct.
And you're not adjusting for your own purpose.
Exactly.
If they don't fit within your parameters, you just move on. There are more fish in the sea. Why are you wasting your time with the one that does not fit the parameter that you're looking for?
All I'm trying to say, and I hear what y'all saying, I agree with it to an extent. I'm saying that if I get along with that person, I think the problem with the married woman was our time frames were planets apart. They weren't close. And then at the very last minute, we learned some non-negotiables were now, not in sync too. So going forward, like I do it when I first started dating people, do you want kids? Now, like my therapist was saying, hey, if a woman says she's willing to adopt, that doesn't necessarily mean she wants to. I'm going to be drilling into that. And I'm going to say, do you really want to do that, or are you just willing? When I got the sense on like my on again, off again, she said, I'm willing to adopt. She said it maybe a week or two ago. She's like, I'm willing to adopt. Let's just adopt a kid who's like 5 or older or whatever. I said, I'm going to need you to really actually want to do that for instead of just be willing or whatever. But like I said, I'm going to talk about some time frames, but like, I do want things to be organic. Like what I was saying hours ago, I said, if the married woman needed 2 years, I was willing to wait as long as my needs were getting met, as long as we had the same goals in mind. It's just that kind of like what you were saying to an extent, it became like an inception of waiting, because she needs to wait till the divorce is final. She needs to wait to vet. She needs to wait to, she's not in a rush to get remarried. It was just a little bit too far apart. But what I'm trying to say too is both people have their demands, and some compromise sometimes has to give. Now y'all right. I don't have to compromise on anything, but if I want something with a certain person, there might need to be a 10 or 20% compromise. It might mean my brother, he's dating a woman. He wanted to stay in St. Louis. And this is how I know it's serious. He's moving to LA. He's looking for jobs, and he's a doctor. He's about to move to LA. She didn't. Whoa. Because as I was talking to my mom, a lot of times in marriage, the woman's going to have the home base. Wherever her family is where she's probably settling down.
Is that where her family's from? Is LA?
Yeah, it is.
No, okay. because if you come from a place where you would be, not to put a religion in anything, it always says the woman leaves her house to come to your house. Mm-hmm. So that's how it should be. There's men that have crossed seas back in the day to go places. And that's what we do. We go other places, and our family has to follow. Mm-hmm. So it's not following them because of the home base. Your wife should be following you to set up, because now the family is what you have. That's your family now.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do they have children or something?
No, they don't. They've just been dating I feel like they've been dating for like at least a year and a half or so, and it's serious.
Because I could see if she was moving towards the family because she's looking for support because they were having children, and maybe she worked and she'd rather have somebody in the family.
Part of the factor is she has older parents and she needs to be there to like make sure they're okay,
well,
take care of them, stuff like that. But what I'm trying to say is this: I can't just. There will be some compromise. In terms of the time frames, sometimes, or some of the things that you want. Like, yes, you're right. I could just be stern and say I'm not budgeting on anything.
Well, no, nobody says you have to be rigid about your requirements. Of course, there has to be some compromise. What we're saying is you got to stay on task, and if she's taking you too far out of that task of what you want, then it's just bad timing. Maybe she could be the right person. It's just bad timing.
I agree with this, and I think that was like the case with the married woman. At the longer I started dating her, is things became more complex. If adopting a kid was like adopting a dog at the pound and it's just free, you show up listen, things might be a little bit closer, but it's not like that. But like I agree, and like I said, it's a life lesson. Like I said, the married woman's a great person. It's just we weren't all the way compatible with certain things, life, the goals, the time, most of the timing. But that's going to get tuned up. And one of the things I tuned up, I think even just dating the married woman, was by the time I started dating the married woman, I was like, I'm no longer dating women who don't want to have kids. I tried that. I have that. I've met a beautiful person who is the prototype of, if I don't want to have kids, I could be with her and I know I could be happy, but I'm not going to deal with the women who I got kids. They're extremely attractive, but they say, I got a kid, I don't want any kids. They're extremely attractive. I don't have kids. I don't want kids. I'm not dating them. They're filtered out.
That's what we told. We said you're gonna. We said this. We said
I'm glad
you're gonna need
life lessons here, and that's great.
Yeah.
No, but I was already
somebody
doing that.
Either in their late 20s, early 30s, have not had a child, and they're at the point where they're saying, my biological clock is ticking, and I am on the same page as you. I mean, I'm determined. I'm ready to have a child. I'm ready to meet that man, and I'm not playing any games.
Right.
That's why we told you got to date a little bit younger.
I'm going to date a little bit younger. That's going to be the base. But if I meet someone who is older than 35, 36 to 39 or whatever, and they are not playing either, if it's the right person, they might be the Willy Wonka. They might get that Willy Wonka ticket. They might get in.
But here's the thing: with your comfort level and what you're comfortable with doing, you're going to defer to the older person first.
Yep, probably. I mean, I'll tell you this right now: it depends on who gets there first. If I find that younger woman and things are hitting it off, then everyone else isn't going to be able to get in. But if I go out to a mixer and I find that person who, we have a lot in common. She's trying to have a kid. She's 39 or 38 or whatever the heck, and she wants to have a kid, and we just get along. We have so much in common. Yeah, go ahead.
Let me say this, and you know this from looking at all these passport bros and everything else.
Yeah,
you go where you're comfortable.
Right.
Me and Fearless always say, if you're going to go overseas, you might as well go overseas and see the best of what it has to offer. Right. A lot of these guys are going down in the hood. They're dating bottom line chicks. Right. They're looking for these discounts. They're functioning like they're still here in America. And this is what I'm saying about your mentality. You're going to go where you're comfortable. You're comfortable with the 30-somethings. You're not so comfortable with dating somebody maybe late 20s.
I'm changing
early 30s.
I'm changing that.
So yeah, you gotta move your comfort zone over to where even if a 30-something, older 30-something, early 40s says something to you, that's not the table you need to be in.
Well, I hear you on that.
Especially if you're focused on wanting to have a child. At a certain age, before, like you said, you become a grandfather dad, which you ever get against, which I have no problems with. Well, but you do.
Grandfather dad, that's a hashtag. But I'm saying this, Ronan, the key, what I'm looking for is someone who's not playing around with those intentions, whether they're 35 and below, whether they're 35 to 39 or whatever, or 40. If they say, I'm not playing around about you, I'm not playing around about,
but can they give you a child?
people can have children at 37 to 39 and stuff like that.
Are you willing to risk it?
You already know the answer to that.
Chris, I know you want you probably a black woman, but you know the
He's so
Latinas
comfortable,
in their society, they like to have children rather on the younger side.
Who does?
The Latina community.
Yeah.
You know, to them, you know, when you 30 and not have a child, that's old.
Mm.
So you know the women there just believe in family and having family first. So you may have to.
But I mean, he's not going there. He's going to be in America, but at the same
and
time,
black. I'm dating. I date exclusively black.
Oh, you do?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's not that I'm not attracted. I'm attracted to every single woman, but type of woman. But there's just so many great, attractive black women.
I mean, you're in the Mecca. You're in Atlanta. It's not like you have a lack of choice.
Yeah. But yeah, it's gonna figure itself out. No, I'm changing. I'm growing every single year. The thing is, the situation that happened with a married woman won't happen again, regardless of her age, regardless of the circumstance. I have to advocate and make sure that the time frames are aligning, the intentions are aligning, and now that I'm at a stage where I'm not playing around with dating, and like I said, people say, well, why would you date the married woman in a monogamous way when she was not doing to you, and you had the green light, the hall pass to do the same? Is because it might be preparing me to find the person who's ready to date monogamously, and then I can do it. Now I've done it in practice. Now I can continue to do it. Now it can be a standard. It can be a mainstay. So I'm going to be fine. I'm going to be perfectly fine.
But honestly, Chris, were you ever the guy to date 3 and 4 chicks at the same time? I don't think you strike me as that kind of guy.
Let's have that conversation. I was going bonkers. I was going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs when I got out of
your cuckoo versus somebody else's cuckoo could be totally different.
Yeah, it's not the same.
I'm not saying
dating isn't just talking to somebody on the phone. We you smashing 3 chicks at the same time.
Wow. Okay. Y'all are gonna ruin my YouTube career, but let's go into it. So I did not do 3 at the same time. I have done 2.
Okay.
But I told y'all last episode that when I first started dating, there was this. I called it the stack. I had at least, I said 5 at the time. I was talking and going on dates with 5. It was much more than that. It probably ballooned up to like 8, 9. And what was I gonna say about that? And they all knew it too. Like I was like, yeah,
that's the only way to have it. You need to let them know.
Like, y'all know. I'm dating multiple people. I went to home to St. Louis and dated her for a month. But the bottom line was, I struggled. I was saying it earlier in the stream. Felix was like, "How could you struggle with this? This was never your life." And it's because I was dealing with something that I could not handle the power. You become egotistical. You become like these women. When I'm talking about like when you have.
Do you know how much power you have with being in a military in a uniform?
I couldn't know. I have no idea.
Believe me, you can't beat them off with a stick.
Yeah.
Well, Chris, with great power comes great responsibility.
And now I'm saying, Fearless, I agree with you. And I'm saying now I know how to wield it. Like I said, you think you're going to put the Infinity Gauntlet on and you're going to just, I'm just going to be a regular person with stones. No. You are going to be consumed with power. You're going to be abusing power. It's going to change you. You're not going to be the best version of yourself. It's going to be hard to wield it at first. It took me practice. And now I had to, part of it was the discipline. Is now that I realize just date one woman at a time. As much temptation as there is, it's going to cause collateral damage. It's going to make things harder to choose. It's going to be harder to settle down. If you want to reach your goals.
Chris, how many times you get hit on when you had that wedding ring on?
None. Because I'll tell you why. I kind of come off with this like resting bitch face demeanor, and and I wasn't really. I'm also not aggressive with them either. I'm not hitting on them either. Like I told you, like it wasn't until I got divorced I really understood the female gaze. I didn't understand. I wasn't really understanding the looks and what that meant. Nobody, and like I said, when I was in the office, nobody was hitting on me. Like they might talk to me, we were friends and stuff like that, but no one was disrespectful. Nobody, tried to cross that line. I wasn't also extremely social either. and I wasn't put. Now, if I was to that point, something might have happened. But like I said, I was married 13 years, never cheated, never wanted to. Did I IG creep? Yeah, but I never took it beyond that. But I'm just saying, no, like now I could go on Bumble. There's probably like 400, 500. I could go on Hinge. There's probably down to 200. But I'm just saying, it's coming from being a monogamous person, serial monogamous, to like now having options. It's hard to kind of deal with all of that, and it's intoxicating. Like when Flint says, "I got 5,000 numbers," I kind of get it to an extent because getting access to beautiful women, it's intoxicating. At least I can accept that. I can agree with that, and I've had to tone it down. But listen, like I said, like I'm gonna be perfectly fine. I want the right things. I'm already saying, like, straight out the gate, I'm like, I want to be remarried. I'm trying to get myself back to doing that. I'm not like one of these guys. I'm gonna play the field and I'm gonna just possibly I'll think about it. I'll get around to it. No, I'm telling y'all, I want to start a family. I want to get remarried. I'm trying to be a little bit patient with it. And there's plenty of Black women out there. I'm gonna be perfectly fine, but this might not be the last lesson I learn. It might not be, but to go back to Fios's point, because he said this woman was not part of your journey. You should never stay as long. Blah, blah, blah. The beauty thing about me is that if I go to the tape, if I make a mistake, if I fumble, if I blow the game for the team, I'm gonna eat that pain, and I'm gonna make sure that doesn't happen again. I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna remember that feeling. I'm gonna download that feeling and say, I don't want to ever feel like this ever again. And what changes do I need to make sure I never see this again? Because if I don't change anything, I'm gonna see this again. So I'm going to make changes. I'm still gonna probably live my life out loud in public so that I could, because I think I find it to be therapeutic. It helps with that process of eating those L's and the W's. So it's like I'm gonna be fine. I'm gonna be perfectly fine. I said earlier on the stream, as long as something catastrophic doesn't happen to me, as long as I'm physically able and everything's okay and nothing drastically changes with me, I'll be fine. Like now it's a battle, Fearless and Ronin, of do I settle? Because if I want to settle, I can have a wife tomorrow. I can have a baby tomorrow. I'm not trying to settle. I'm trying to say, you know what? We had a baddie in St. Louis. We can find another baddie. We want a certain type of woman. What do I have to do to kind of get that woman? Because like I said, I could settle. I got plenty of women that are of that age that I'm not attracted to on Bumble right now. I could swipe on them right now. I don't want to, because I want to get someone that's not playing around with me, that is also attractive, that also finds me attractive. And then there's chemistry on top of that. There's challenges on the chemistry on top of that. So it's like dating it's not hard to get dates. It's hard to, that chemistry is not a guarantee. Like we were talking earlier, and I want to get y'all's opinion. They were like, you guys live in the same city. You should take Maya out. And I'm like, I'd love to take Maya out for drinks, but I don't think I don't think we're each other's type. She's probably attractive.
She said something like I don't think she's interested in really having kids. Let me take that back. I think she said she would have kids, but not really have the responsibility of the child.
Yeah, she doesn't. It's not her kid. And I get it. She's willing to have a kid for someone, for the right person, but it's not going to be considered her kid. If they were to break up, blah, blah, blah. I get it. I understand it. But like I said, like, I don't think her and I would be a right match. But I would go out. I'd take her on a date. Maya, if you're listening.
But I think she would be the type of person who would, man, excuse this word, like you're in the meantime, meaning you say, hey, I can go out, I can be with you, with the understanding if you met the person you would want to be with, there would be no ill will. Like she wouldn't say, oh, you met somebody else or something like that. I don't think that would be it. I don't think that to go back, I don't think that would be what you're looking for, because you can easily go have a child with someone. I think you're looking to have a family, to grow up with.
I could do that too. If I want to get someone who I don't find attractive, that I'm the baddie in the relationship, I could get that done right now.
That's what I mean. You want to have something a little more sincere. And the only advice I would give is, from my observation, I think you tiptoed around a lot of the the hard conversations where you know it's like where you really didn't want the answer. And I think in the future you can't do that. I think women respect.
I don't think he didn't want to answer. I think he knew what the answer would be, and he wasn't looking forward.
You
to
knew the
hearing
answer, you just didn't want to hear the answer. I agree.
I think he's smarter than that. I think
there's truth to that. I think like I said, I'm naturally conflict averse. I avoidant, I guess. I would wait till something is like really broken to maybe to really have that conversation. I just thought things were okay. I thought things were on the up and up. And when I got concerned, I avoided having that conversation because I thought I could effort my way past it or whatever. I know now, no, just have the conversation. It might not be what you want to hear, but it's going to maybe help you. It's going to give you the clarity of what you need to know to make the right decision and whatever. But like I said, I think I'll be fine. I no, Bacchus, I don't think placeholder. I think that the married woman and I think maybe he's talking about Maya and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I don't want to use a woman as a placeholder. Like let's talk about that. Like I said, I had the New Year's Eve teed up. Like if y'all ever went to Top Golf or played golf and had a ball on a tee, like romantic New Year's Eve teed up. I could have just taken a one wood out and smashed, and I was just like, no, because.
But that's good. You would have entered. I mean, the good thing is here, I think anytime the new year starts, you need to be mentally cleansed and focused. And if you would have gone there and it would have done it, it would have messed up your whole 2025. So at least now you have some time to take some steps back, get that out your system, and move into the new year with a clean slate.
Yeah,
so I think you needed that.
I need to make room for the right woman, because the married woman, you probably heard it when I was saying, she was like, hey, I want you to find your person. You're going to need to date younger. In the meantime, you can continue to date me. And I was like, that sounds great. We have great dates. But I was just like, no, it's going to.
Tell her this. Tell her, hey, I'm here. Tell her she spend the money and take you out. You'll go out with her. You just don't want to spend the money no more.
Right. Or at least we go Dutch.
Exactly.
At this point, if we not hitting it, I don't need to spend not another dime on you.
Correct. And that's what I was saying. I was like, hey, maybe we could keep her around if we have the right understanding. But I said, you know what? We need to I need to just free up the room and the resources and the time for the other person. It depends, Bacchus, Flary. I love me some conflict, depending on what it is, but like, typically I like to just try to keep it on the dating front. I like to keep it on vibes and just try and keep it on the up and up. But like this was a test that helped me understand, no, we have to, and I'm really good at it. I think when, like I said, you guys really are getting to know me. Like I'm more of like a rigid person. Now dating the married woman, we're gonna add some rigidness to this dating now. We're gonna start having some conversations. We're gonna have some people getting cut if they're not performing. People might have to get pipped. I don't know what's going to happen, but
I put something in the chat for you, and it was from a song. Don't let what happened in the past hurt your future. Yeah. And just because that happened with the lady, the married woman, and I even tell women that when I talk to women, and I say that was that guy. Don't let how that guy treated you affect how you treat me. Yeah. And that should be the same going forward with you. You shouldn't have let that experience change you. You should move in a different way, but don't be like, oh, I need to be this person. If you're a nice guy, you're a nice guy. Yeah. You just need to be a nice guy for the right woman.
Yeah, and that's why I said I'm gonna do that, but still I can't let 3-4+ months go without having conversations and checking in. So I'm not gonna.
You just need to be a little more direct and a little more blunt.
Yeah. And Chris, why was y'all going so long with
you can ask whatever you want.
What you were saying, there was months or that you would go by, because in my opinion, if you are dating someone, your dating becomes more frequent, not less frequent.
Well, she has a kid, so she had mommy duty every other week. So I couldn't really see her every week. I had to see her every other week. And I think the problem is that go ahead, Brian.
I'm just saying there should be a level of intensity growing.
I agree with
like
you.
you're stoking the flame.
Right.
And on site, literally, by the time you get to a certain level, it should be on site.
Right.
Shouldn't be no discussion.
That's
Clothes
what,
are flying off.
yeah.
You
That's
know,
what,
y'all heading to a room, and then it's like y'all have a conversation after that's over with.
well, I'll say this. First and foremost, I would never treat Maya like that. But
We're not talking about any specific.
I know, but I'm saying I'm saying to Bacchus's point, but I'm saying to your point, I get that, and that's what typically it has been for other relationships. I think every other relationship has been like that. Like an ex came back, that we had only dated 2.5 months. Like we started dating November through December, broke up, and then she came back.
A little look. That's all it takes.
Well, what I'm trying to say is, I did the last ex I had. We maybe dated like 2 or 3 months. She came back in August. It didn't take but like a couple weeks, and you can use your imagination what happened.
Right.
All I'm trying to say is, I understand that if a woman comes into my life and says, "Hey, I need you to be patient for the physical," that's fine. I can understand that, but the whole kit and caboodle can't go. The intensity has to be an emotional too. It's got to be a friend. We got to be bonding. And I think I kind of didn't realize it until late in the game, because one, I do this YouTube. I get a little bit of attention here. It's taking some of my time away. I have friends. I have other things that I'm doing. I might have been getting attention from the exes that were orbiting, and I didn't realize. I was starting to realize over time my needs are not getting met. After a certain point, I was realizing, as her energy started to go down and down and down, I was like, oh my God, my needs aren't getting met. And I was getting them met from other people. And I think I started to make excuses for it. So like, I remember, y'all weren't here, but I was saying, that same ex that came back, I told her what I was going through. And she was like, you need to call her up. I told her, I said, hey, can you talk? It's kind of important. And she called me up on my birthday and she said, are you okay? And I was like, what do you mean? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, and she was like, I saw your text. And I was like, what did I say? And I looked at it, I was like, oh shoot, I was going to tell you, but I shouldn't be telling you this. You're my ex. And she's like, no, tell me. And I told her what I was going through. And she was like, you need to call her up and break up with her right now on my birthday, because we had a birthday brunch. And I was like, all right. And then I call her, and then I was like, I hear her like sweet voice, and I'm like, I can't do this. I can't do this. Not right now. If I had a little bit more runway, maybe, but like, I can't do this on the spot. And we met up, and she said, how'd the call go? And I said, I couldn't do it. And she said, you haven't changed. So it's not that there weren't times where I was like, I think I should end this. It's just that the dates were so good.
But just to let you know, I know you say that, but that's where guys have fallen into, where we say, man, they get hypnotized by the girl's loving, and then they wake up, a year later and find out that's not the woman. And BBD, you never trust a big butt and a smile. Yeah. And that big butt and a smile have taken a lot of men under.
Well, I'll say this. How do I want to say it? It's like, we had great dates. I think I always wanted to see what could this possibly be. And we never got to that, but it's like, for different factors and reasons, not just the physical, but it's just like, I have to, in the future, not get so captivated by, hey, what could something be, knowing that I'm not getting my needs met. If my needs are getting met, okay, maybe proceed and have some conversations. But next time, if my needs are not getting met, and I'm not necessarily meaning sexually, I need to see it for what it is, and realize it should be. We need to have a conversation and figure out, why is it this way? Because this is not, my needs are not getting met. But like I said, it's a lesson learned. Like I said, I don't think she's a bad person. I just think both her and I, she was in a unique situation, and it was more so about my other needs, not just the physical, were not getting met. And I was trying to force my way out of that by effort and saying, we'll rise above this. And we didn't.
With Chris, I know you wear glasses, my brother. I know you wear glasses. But sometimes I think you have those rose-colored glasses on. Mm-hmm. Example. You spend a lot of money and a lot of time with this girl.
Right.
And you said, oh, yeah, she bought me a little something for my housewarming gift. Mm-hmm. And the way we looked at it was, yeah, she should have. Matter of fact, she should have been over your house over there cooking on your first day. Those, you took it as this little gift meant a lot. And we were saying, brother, that was the easiest thing that was the minimal she should have done.
I'll agree with you. And let's be clear here, Fearless. I have to run interference. I can't just be on these podcasts shitting on the person I'm dating and trying to get.
Oh, I understand. We just was trying to say, man, you deserved more. And it seemed like every time somebody said it, you made excuses like they're doing a lot. And we're like, they're not really doing a lot.
I'm just saying, I have to, just like when you're in a marriage, I can't just go shit on my spouse to my friends and family and then say, hey guys, everything's good the next week, or hey, don't worry about it, everything's okay. I didn't do any shit. I didn't change anything. Everything's okay now. So what I'm saying is I'm trying to handle some stuff behind the scenes, but I was trying to be very hopeful. So that's the rose-colored glasses. I get it. But what I'm trying to say is I still stand by the housewarming gift. She was trying back then. And I think after a while, she wasn't getting her needs met and she pulled her energy back. And then I agree with you.
What you keep saying she wasn't getting her needs met.
Yeah.
And from your conversations, you were taking her out, you were spending money. What needs were not being met? I
think that just like
on your end, because it seemed like you were doing it on your end.
Well, I did the dates, and that's not the whole package. I challenge anybody in Atlanta to be courting a woman better than I was doing it this year. But what I'm trying to say is we barely talked on the phone. And that I had to realize that cannot happen again. I got too comfortable thinking, oh, we have great dates. We have great chemistry on the dates. We're moving things along. Things will move. Eventually she's going to say, hey, she said, I want a boyfriend. I was just waiting for that conversation to happen. Come spin the block again. It didn't. So, I agree with you. Like the effort needs to be matched. And that's why I said, like, if it's not, I need to have those conversations and say, my needs aren't getting met. If this is what, and I remember I went on one date with her and I said, what does the next level look like? And I was trying to basically get to that through a conversation and say, if your effort is the same way as it is now on the next level, this isn't going to work for me. But I agree with you. It's just like, I need to advocate more for my needs. Like I said, I stand by it. Like the housewarming gift, I think it was, her energy back then was really great. It was great. And then it just pulled back and it went to zero. And I was like, what the hell is going on?
But why? I guess I'm trying to find out where the disconnect is. You guys live in the same city.
Yeah.
She doesn't have her child for a week. That means during that week, y'all should have been connecting basically 3-4 days, at least on the weekend. Maybe one day during the week, and then on Saturday every week. So where was the connect where you guys weren't conversing?
I think that, like I said, it's a two-way street. Like I remember when we last time I talked to her about like, hey, what are the state of things? It was July 4th. We had a great date. She mentioned to me, hey, one of the things one of the feedback was, hey, you should call more. I dropped the ball. I fumble Rooski. I didn't do it. And then that became a pattern and I got comfortable with it. Weeks turned to months. Months turned to several months. Oh, and then I started getting concerned and I said, okay, let me make a call and do that every week or whatever the heck. But it was probably too late anyway. But it's just like, I agree with what you're saying, but like some people might not have all the time. They might be socialites. They might be dating other people. I agree. But what you're saying is true. On the other relationships, if we isolate the married woman out of it, yeah. Like my on again, alpha again ex, there'd be many times where I was over her house 4 or 5 nights a week. My last ex, we went on like 2 or 3 dates a week. And then
how did you feel comfortable enough not to talk to her that much? Because the way you talked to us was, this is my girl, we doing this. Yeah. Why did you get to the point where you felt comfortable enough that you didn't need to talk to her as much?
I felt like, I'll be honest with you. There's a couple things. I felt like I was in pole position. I think, as Dion said before they got smacked by Kansas, they got too ahead of themselves. I think I got a little too ahead of myself. I said, I'm in the lead. I'm what's Usain Bolt in this? I got a whole lap lead. Like I got some slack. I felt comfortable. I felt like if
but was she seeing any other guys?
the understanding was like we were able to see other people, but I think up until a certain point, I don't think she was. And I felt, hey, if there was a problem, if her needs weren't getting met, if there was a glaring issue, she's going to bring it to me. I got too comfortable.
Did you ever tell her you were being exclusive to her at any point in time?
She definitely knew that after a certain point. It's hard to, it's a great question to ask. I just don't remember how it all played out. But like, I think she knew, specifically after a certain point, specifically after the 7 months, she was like, hey, how was this, the celibacy? And I was like, it was horrible. I don't want to ever do it again, but I did grow and I did learn. I did turn something out. I did make some lemonade out of these lemons. I didn't say that, but I'm just saying, I'm paraphrasing. But I'm saying, I think after a certain point, I just don't remember what point. I think she knew. I just don't remember it anymore right now.
Now, did you ever ask her, was she celibate?
Exactly.
Let's be very clear here. Let's be clear. Let's have this conversation. She's going through a divorce. She deserves to have her own fun. Part of me doesn't want to know how the sausage is made. Let's be clear about that. But on the second one, we did have a conversation where she said, and we don't know if this is true or not. I'm gullible. I like to believe what people say. She said, I've had my fun. All my girls are telling me to have a hoe phase. I did that, or I had my fun in my 30s or my 20s, my college days. At my age now, that's not cute anymore. So what was conveyed to me was we were both going through the same experience, whether you want to believe it or not. And
but she didn't outright admit to anything or deny. No plausible deniability here.
At the end of the day, people who don't want to tell you the truth, you'll never know unless you have a private investigator. But like I said, for what I was told, no, nothing. She was dating other people, and I'm sure their effort wasn't my level. You go ahead.
Right. So, okay, their effort might not have been to your level and
Right.
the extremes that you went through with her
Right.
to show her how much you were going to be dedicated to her.
All right.
Okay. But if there were other men, do you think they would have waited as long as you?
Oh, absolutely
without
not.
pressing that issue?
Absolutely not.
So how do you know other men that she was dating, they didn't?
And then also what we found in one of our lives, that there's some men that don't give any effort and get all the reward.
Well, I agree with you on that, Fearless. But the thing is, I can't be mad at that because, like I said, I go back to it. She's going through a divorce. She deserves to have her fun. 2.
But so do you. You were withholding having your fun.
I agree with you, but I don't deserve anything that she doesn't also mutually feel like I deserve. So I'm saying I can't say, "Oh, I've been here earlier than Ronan, so I should be able to be intimate first." No, like if Ronan beat me out, he beat me out. I'm just saying.
But that's when you should have laid down the law. And I remember I said it looks like you maybe the conflict or something. I'm trying to say this in a good positive way, but we've said it before. Where you are paying for the dates,
right?
You're paying for dinner, and somebody else is getting dessert, and that should never happen, man. You should never be the person who is out there taking care of the woman only for somebody else to reap the reward.
But here's the thing, Fearless, and I agree with you. But here's the deal: what you're talking about is a specific pedigree of woman, because there are some women, like Angie was trying to say on the previous live, like, hey, some women do recognize that if you're courting them a certain type of way, you're taking them on certain types of dates, they understand what the deal is, and they're not gonna abuse that. But some women will, and that's what y'all speak to. What I'm trying to say is that I'm trying to lose my thought.
Never take advice from a woman on dating, man.
Oh, okay, fair.
Because this is what happens. Women tell you what they want, and what women actually want are two different things.
Well, I'll say this, Fearless. I know the homework that I have to take away from the married woman experience, and it was not all on the married woman. But I'll say this: I agree with you on this on one front. What you're speaking to is what I say: a woman can have a roster, a guy can have a roster, but you should not ask anybody on the roster to do stuff that you're not asking the person higher on the roster to do. You should not be saying, "Hey, can you take me to the Jay-Z and Beyonce retirement concert? This is their last show ever in Dubai." But then I'm 5 out of 5. You shouldn't be asking me to do that if you really want the 1 out of 1 guy. And he's saying, sorry, I can't even take you to Wingstop. You shouldn't do that. So
but here you said shouldn't do that, but they do that.
But you can't without a private investigator. I can't tell you what spot I'm at.
Chris, I just got to know.
Yeah, go for it.
It doesn't bother me.
No, go for it.
Okay, it's every other weekend for your girl. You're married lady.
Yes.
And that means no kids, no responsibilities. Y'all go out on a Friday night, say. Mm-hmm. Does she sleep over?
Okay.
Do y'all cuddle? I mean, or is she going home and you're staying at home on your own?
Yeah, I mean that like I said, that was a miss.
If you got nothing better to do, kids are gone.
No, I agree with you, Ronan. What I'm trying to say is
anything. Hey, just come on over to the house. Let's chill.
Yeah.
Take in some soft music like the fireplace or
no,
whatever.
I agree with you. That's my style. But
especially after 4 to 5 months.
Yeah.
Nothing.
No, I agree with you, Ronan. Like what I'm trying to say is on two occasions, on two points. That's a ball that we both dropped, specifically me. But let me finish. I think this is a situation with the married woman where I gentleman my way out of it.
Goddamn way. I'm a gentleman to the nth degree.
No, I'm just saying. I'm telling you the truth. Like there's some women who will appreciate you being a gentleman, but I think one of my homework is I gotta know how to be. I gotta be a little bit of a gentleman and not a gentleman. That's all I'm trying to say. So I dropped the ball on not inviting her over, and the part of it was this. Is she was the first woman who I dated who was a non-initiator, and I'm a non-initiator. So it's like, it's awkward. The exchanges are kind of awkward. To your point, when I've dated a person 2 or 3 or 4 months, if I don't invite them over to my house, they are inviting themselves over or finding a way to get over to my house. Like the ex who orbited, she was like, "Hey, how are you doing?"
Did your conversations at night ever get cerebral?
What do you mean by that?
Like she's literally getting hot and bothered.
We had
like you telling her, like you asking her those questions, like what's your fantasy? What you want to do? If I had you like this, like
what's your number? What's your record as far as how many times you've done it consecutively in one night?
Yeah, like talk nasty to her.
Listen, we had spicy conversations. I'm not saying we didn't. That's why I said like the New Year's.
How the next time y'all met, was there no spark? There was no sleepover.
Let me say something. I don't know if this was a factor, but like I told you all, she did have her fun in her 20s and she changed.
I don't give a damn about that.
Now I hear you, but she is Muslim. She's kind of like Muslimish. She comes from a Muslim family. I don't know if that was an impact, but yeah, I mean, it was wild to me too. Like I'll say this. I think the other thing is, besides the non-initiator, I think she might have been like the first woman I dated that didn't have like an extremely high sex drive. So that might have been one too. So like the libido.
Are you sure about that?
We had a conversation.
Had that with you.
Well, hold on. Both could be true. I'm just saying, as I was telling my red pill best friend, if we're gonna be fair about this, all those possibilities have to be valid probabilities. So I'm not gonna say y'all not wrong. I'm not saying Ronan and Felix y'all ain't wrong. Or not right. I'm just saying I could be right too. What I'm saying is this. The bottom line is, like I said, New Year's Eve, I said, hey, I'll get a nice little restaurant. Let me go get us a nice little party place. And she's like, no, I want it to be romantic. And I was like, oh, okay. So here's Blockiest Flary. Listen, I learned this lesson. I would say this to Bacchus's point. I ran into one where this is exactly true. The other ones, it might make things awkward, but they're gonna try to like ungentleman you out of it. This one doesn't. So going back to the point is the what is this? You got another video?
And when you play that one real quick, and this is kind of what you should have was saying.
Okay, let's see.
You think I'm gonna sit on the phone with you for 8 months before you let me hit? First of all, I had one girl that was crazy in her mind. She like, Okay, well, we've been talking for a few months, and I think you deserve it now because you waited long enough. Baby, you waited. I was hitting holes. You gotta realize like this. I was hitting holes until you.
Okay, so
Right.
let's be very clear that that's the 2021-2023 Chris. I was like, yo, you want me to make me wait? I'm Mr. I got an X in tow. I got an X in the cut. But I was different. I showed up as a different Chris this time because I didn't want that collateral damage. Because what happens is when I'm doing that, when that woman says, hey, I want to be exclusive, I'm still cozy and I'm still emotional. I still have at the very least an emotional entanglement that I have to unwind. So, but going back to the point, like I said, balls were dropped.
But do you realize?
Nah, brother, your balls didn't drop.
Okay. That happened in puberty, so they've been dropped.
Pause. But anyway, if you had acted like old Chris with a nonchalant type attitude,
you would have had
it
success.
was whatever. But you already knew you were going to be hitting something else if she didn't let you hit. Then the attitude would have conveyed to her in a certain way to where she knew if she really wanted you, she was under the gun a little bit.
That happened though, Fearless and Ronan, because we went out on my birthday brunch, and we had a great brunch, and then at the end when we were doing the valet, the problem was like the affection was so awkward between us that like there would be
practice makes perfect.
Yeah, the practice was perfect, but like there would be kisses fumbled on hugs and stuff like that.
How do you fumble a kiss?
Let me go straight in.
No, let me be clear. Because for me, we just got there would be, she was giving off energy like it was almost like standoffish energy on some dates, and so my response to that was like, okay, I guess you don't really want to be kissed. So I would
make her tell you no.
Yeah.
Kiss.
But let me. Yeah, I get that. And that's what happens on other people I date. But what I'm trying to say is that I'm keying off of signs and signals that I'm seeing, and I wasn't the things that she was.
You know what the sign and the signal is?
Yeah.
The minute I get a confirmed date, you know what the first one, even on the first date.
Yeah.
She's getting kissed when I pick her up.
Okay. Well, let me go past this.
And you got to, and what you should have done, and I'm not telling you
because I'm breaking the ice right off the top.
But what you got to do is there certain, I don't want to say techniques, and I'm not trying to date you, but there's certain things you do to a woman to know where she's at. For instance, you like brush behind her neck, touch her, touch her leg, and that if she is willing to do that, they'll let you know she's comfortable with you touching her. They'll let you know, like, oh man, I love your hair. You put your hand in her hair. Oh man, that's a pretty earring. You touch it on her ear. Things like that to test and gauge how acceptable she is for you to do it, because you just don't want to go in cold like you ain't had no kind of conversation. Yeah. That's how you warm up a woman to know if she's there, and then it doesn't feel awkward.
Yeah, and I get that. I feel like I didn't answer the original question. I'm gonna get back to that, but I feel like the miss with me and the married woman is like we needed to spend time at each other's places. That is a perfect battleground to be doing that stuff, because when you're at restaurants, you get a whole lot more cozy at home. But to go back to, I think what Ronan was asking about is like, so yeah, let me ask you this. When I had the birthday brunch, a kiss was fumbled, and that wasn't the only time kisses were fumbled, and we both kind of like left frustrated or confused or whatever the heck. But I had an ex that had orbited, and things got intimate with that ex like once or two or three times, and then we said, hey, you know what, we're just gonna be celibate too. So when me and the married woman went on that birthday brunch and we fumbled that kiss, when she went in for a kiss and I didn't realize it, and then I kind of kissed her on the cheek.
Oh God, not the cheek.
Yeah, hold up.
It's like kissing on the forehead, man.
Well, that's a good move. I like that move. But what I'm saying is when I fumbled that kiss on the birthday, she went back to her girlfriends, and the girlfriend said, he's fucking someone else. She wasn't wrong, but that wasn't the reason why the kiss was fumbled. She thought that the kiss was fumbled because she said he's fucking someone else. That wasn't the reason. The reason was the affection between her and I was so fucking awkward. It was.
But then why? Flag. Okay, then the question would be,
red flag.
Yeah, why would you continue to date someone when it's that awkward? Because usually when you date someone and it's on, that fire is just lit.
Yeah,
You
I get
can't
it.
help yourself.
I agree.
It's like handsy type of
I
can't help
agree.
yourself.
I agree. I'm
She got
committed.
her hand in your pocket, if you know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
I mean, I get it. That's everybody else I dated. But what I'm saying is like this is a person who I was really trying to pursue in a real way, and we were both frustrated through
Way
this
too
process.
early.
Yeah, we were both frustrated through this process, and I
Chris,
think
why was she the exception? I'm just wondering. Why was she the exception to all your rules?
What made her that way?
That's a good question. That's a good question. I'm trying to think of this. Like, why was she the exception? I think part of it, Fearless and Ronan, was she caught me at the right time. That she would have caught me in 2021, 2022, like y'all saying, it wouldn't have gone. I would have been doing what you said in the video. I wouldn't, hey, I got the X over here, and I'm doing that, or I've got someone else and I'm doing this. I said that verbatim. I think I said it verbatim to my friend Chris and Eugene. I said, listen, she can hold out all she wants, but I'm gonna just be doing that on the side. But
exactly.
But I changed, and I'm not that person anymore because I've seen too much collateral damage come from that.
But you guys both agreed she could have her fun and you should be able to have yours.
Yeah, I understand.
You made this unadulterated commitment to her to be chaste.
I did.
While she was allowed to go and have whatever the hell kind of fun she wanted.
I did because I knew that when the problem is, Ronan, a lot of times when women say that, they're able to stop the train like a car brake. I got to stop a train like a runaway train. So I'm saying, let's not even start the train, because I know if I get this train started, it's gonna be hard for me to stop it at some points. Maybe I can stop it now as the 2024 Chris, but the 2021, 2022 Chris, I was struggling to stop that. I felt like, well, I'll get around to stopping it. So I felt like in this time, don't even start it, because we've already seen how this is going to end relationships. My on again, off again ex has ruined 2 relationships, not because of her, because of me keeping her around at the most inopportune times. So I get what you're saying. Like I said, there was definitely some colossal fumbles on my part, I think on her part too. And like I said, like I went through periods where my needs weren't getting met, not just the sexual. I'm not talking about that. I'm just saying, and that going forward will not be
even
tolerated.
if it was, that would be acceptable.
Yeah. It was not acceptable. I think I made a pass at it saying, we will get it together. It'll figure itself out. And it really, if we just came to, if
you know what,
let me finish.
Go ahead.
New Year's could have been a great opportunity to figure it out. I think that's where I was kind of holding on to. I was like, we go to New Year's, we get this on and popping. This might jumpstart something.
No,
but
I think you were using her as a safe bet. I don't think you were really ready to be in a relationship of any kind of note.
That's not true. That's not true. I was laying it all on the line.
I think you would have pressed harder if you were. Here's the big thing I do know.
What do you know?
If you're secure in if you're secure in your financial and your resources and your job, when a man is ready to move and he moves with purpose, within 6 months to a year, you're done. You're already married.
But
it shouldn't even take that long.
No, I understand what you're saying, but what I'm saying is like this is a person that she's the one gatekeeping the intimacy, not me.
But did you attempt? She can gatekeep, but if you ain't never knock on the door,
she ain't gonna worry about it.
There could be some truth to that, but what I'm trying to say is this: the miss was we weren't hanging out at the house. That was the miss. But I was trying to honor her boundary and say, whenever the right time is the right time. But like what I'm trying to say is this:
Chris, she an old lady. She ain't young. You don't have to hang out at the house. You could have been in the passenger seat of the car with the seat let down. She would have just strolled over and said, "Let me go ahead and take care of you."
I mean, there's certain type of women that are doing that. I agree with you, Fearless. But all I'm trying to say is this: it's not that we weren't attracted to each other. It's not that. It's just I think in this case the affection played a big part.
That's
the fact that it was a big problem. I'm not saying it's not. It was a colossal problem. The two was we didn't hang out at each other's houses. That was a big problem too. But it is what it is. You have to learn from it.
I get that, and I'm glad you are picking up notes and keys of things that you want to do differently, and that's great. That means you're learning from your process. It's just damn, man. You got to shorten this process.
Yeah.
And it's gonna get shortened for sure. But this was a different type of woman. Like I said, she's a non-initiator. I usually luckily, deal with people who have very high sex drives, who are extremely affectionate. She is looking for more of me to set the tone, and that was different for me. And I kind of just struggled with that.
But that's what you had to do, Chris. That's what you don't like this term, alpha and beta males, but you got to alpha up, man. Women want you to be that leader. That's what they're looking for out of you. They're looking for you to be.
Well, what I'm trying to say is I'll meet you halfway. This one was that. The others, they would, regardless of whether I was that or not, they were working with me and they brought that out. They made it comfortable. They set a stage to make that comfortable. This one did not. So what I'm trying to say is I agree with you. That's my homework that I have to come home and take, and I have to improve in that category. So, and I could do that. It's just I had never dated a woman like that, and I was always expecting like, hey, there will be a situation, there'll be a circumstance, there'll be a location where eventually we're at each other's houses or the New Year's Eve where we will get closer and things will work each other. Things will start to become more comfortable. But like I said, this was the first woman I ever dealt with where I was uncomfortable. And it was a mixture of me and her. So, let's see, hold on.
Yeah, that's not, we got to get you there, but at least, I mean, everything is a learning experience. We live, we learn. Like Ronan said, we just hope that the time frame for that learning curve is not as long.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. Like I said, we're gonna tighten things up next time for sure. We're gonna, every single woman I date, I take feedback back. So like I said, I know the feedback that I got from her, and it was exactly that. So, but it's sometimes, like I said, failure is a good teacher where it's like you have to eat that L and say, I don't want to ever struggle like this again. I don't want to go through this again. What do I have to change to make sure I don't do that? And I think when you're in it with that person, you take for granted it might already be over, or you're on borrowed time or whatever the heck. So it's like I said, there were balls missed. But I don't think that we did enough. There wasn't enough of an effort made to try to correct the balls that were dropped. That's how I feel. And I just, like I said, I know the homework I need to take back, and I need to just be more aggressive. I can do that. So I'll be fine. And now I know if I deal with a woman and I realize, oh, she's a non-initiator, I know exactly how to handle that situation. This one, I was like, I don't know what it's going to actually be like. I feel like when she told me that, I was like, I think it's going to be exactly how it played out. And it was exactly how it played out. I just didn't know how to respond to it and feel comfortable. And being that alpha, like you said, I'm usually more so like that with the women who are a little bit more aggressive. And it's because, like I said, they're giving me signals too. They're loving on me. They're being affectionate on me. And that makes me feel way more comfortable. But like I said, I'll be fine. These are things that can be fixable, especially if people let you know. So I'll be fine. Like it's a what have you done for me lately kind of type of like industry. So it's like right now, sure, Chris is down, kick him. But I'm like, I'm gonna be fine. It's just everybody's not great at everything, Fearless. Some people have holes to be worked on and improved and whatever. I excel in certain categories, and some of them I might struggle. So this was a learning experience where I'm like, you know what, there's some areas there's some blind spots you got to kind of like improve on.
No, I don't think you're down. I just, I don't see it as down.
I see it as a failure. I see it as a failure because of the stuff that we were just talking about. It was the factor. It wasn't Chris, I'm not attracted to you. It wasn't Chris, like you take me on terrible dates and you don't put a lot of effort in. It was exactly what we talked about. It was to a T. That was the only feedback I think I ever really got, but we'll fix it. And the thing that really hurts about it is you leave a lasting impression with people, and I always want to fix that impression. I'm never going to be able to fix that impression with any of the women I dated in the past unless they orbit again. But I'm going to fix it. I'm going to try to become a new and improved and enhanced Chris every single new person I date. So, like I said, I'll make the improvements. I think the one thing that's best about me is like I don't look and say I'm gonna just people just need to take me as I am. No, I want to continue to improve, and I will. So it's a failure. No, make no mistake about it. It's an epic failure in a specific in that specific category. Epic failure, but that pain will help me. It will propel me forward. So I'll be fine.
I think you should take. We got. Let's see. It's the 20th.
Yeah.
About 11 more days. I think you should really take this time, lay some things out, how you want to start the new year off,
Right.
and then hit the ground running once that January 1st hits.
Right. I agree.
And
Part of
some
that.
is, I mean, I heard you say some of it. Some of it is getting your confidence up, and confidence up meaning you get your body up, you get in shape, you start eating right. By the time March rolls around, you're looking good, you're feeling good, and that can play a big part in
Well,
how you
let's
approach those women.
let's make it very clear. I'm always going to have like 10 out of 10 confidence, no matter if I'm middies Chris or flatboard abs Chris that I'm trying to manifest now. It's just I need to be emotionally available. I'm working on that right now to get myself back to being emotionally available. I need to kind of like maybe get some other things in order. I think one of the things I need to do is I think I need to become more social. One of my goals was to pledge. I might need to like really start kicking the tires and making that a
Who you
2026
trying to
goal.
pledge with?
I'm gonna keep that on the wraps. But
See, Morehouse, man. You guys usually go alpha because of Martin Luther King. Is that it?
I don't know. But I think that would have really helped to expand my social footprint, because like I just kind of meet women online. I don't really do it in person. That's another thing that could change.
What you have to do, Chris, is this, and I've told some other people this, is for instance, you guys got a lot of happy hours, man. After work,
Right.
hit up a happy hour. Find a regular place you can go on a Tuesday, another place you can go on Thursday.
Yeah.
And you can just be at the bar, and there's always going to be a woman at the bar who's looking for, some type of company, and you just can converse. You go there and you converse. Don't go there looking like you mad at everybody, but you start to do that, and then people, the bartender, the people who work there, they start to notice you, and you become a familiar face. So you need to just put yourself in certain places so
Right.
that you can be out. And sometimes it's getting out of your comfort zone, but saying, hey, I'm going to be somewhere and go out. Because even though you can go with a Kappa Alpha Psi Alpha Omega, whomever, that's going out with a group of guys.
Right.
And our thing is you're going to want to be with a group of girls. You want to meet the girls.
But they do have little parties and little shindigs that do, it could be like alpha and AKAs. It could be all those kind of things.
But one of the problems is, Chris, you pledging you're pledging like graduate chapter. So you're gonna have a lot of people talking about what they did in undergraduate, all the life they did and all that.
All right.
Them stories ain't gonna help you out. Because
Sure.
you're gonna be meeting with frat bros who've been together for 20-something years. And nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying don't pledge. I'm saying I still think you should put yourself in positions to just be out. Go to Facebook. Facebook has what is that thing called? Upcoming events or something.
Yeah, Bumble has Bumble in real life. That's how I met my last ex.
Yeah.
But
And
yeah, I
just
agree.
You go there. You don't have to spend no money. You can just be out, and that's how you do it. Like, so if you go out to the bar, you're buying your drink. You can choose to maybe buy somebody's drink, but you don't have to. You can just converse. And they'll go out with ladies. And, especially if you've been a handsome man, her friends, especially if she's a single woman, they'll put her on you. They're like, oh, I got a friend here. I got somebody. You just, nobody is going to, I know you got a new place that you live, and it's probably a nice place. But no matter how nice that place is, women just aren't going to say, hey, I think Chris lives here. Let me go just knock on this door. Never works like that. You have to put yourself. So no matter how great your product is, if nobody knows your product exists, you can't sell it.
Yeah, I agree with that. And that's what I'm saying. Is like the goal is kind of trying to like expand the social footprint. So that, that those are things that to kind of work on.
No, what I would do is this. Then I know we talked about you dating Maya, and maybe not dating, but maybe socialize. She seems to be a socialite.
Right.
So maybe use her for, not use, that wouldn't be the right word, but you understand what I mean,
Right.
for your social activities. To say, hey, I'm not really a comfortable person hanging out. Can you? I just want to hang out, just wherever you at. So at least you can be someplace. You may meet her someplace, and you have someone there that you're familiar with, so you can converse with. But it doesn't necessarily mean you have to be up under her. It's like, hey, I just want to be in a social place where I know someone. And I can talk to them, and then I can go off and do my thing. And, if nothing's there, I can still converse with you. But maybe you could find somebody who's a social, extrovert to take you out.
Right. I agree with that. One of this person who I kind of consider the hand, we had something like that on tap for last Sunday, but she had to back out. But yeah, I agree. I mean, like I said, I'll be fine. Even if I just said, hey, I'm just going to date online and only online, I'll be fine. I kind of clean up over there. But I'm always looking after opportunities to improve and grow and bring a stronger package. And like you're saying, present it too. That means getting out there or working on yourself and all that kind of stuff. But it's all those kind of things. But like I said, I should be fine. I think the best part of dating is just like learning, getting feedback from other people, and having the right intentions in the first place. So I think the approach was right. It's just I did the right things for the wrong person. She's a great person. She just wasn't the right person. It was practice. We could look at it as practice. So I think we'll be fine.
Ronan, you got anything to say? I just stayed.
All I can say is I'm proud on your progress and actually learning and moving forward life, and actually not waiting until New Year's to figure out where you stood with this woman.
It took the jaws of life out of me. I was like the crocodile with those ears those eyes just right outside the water. I wanted to grab that gazelle, drinking that water on New Year's Eve, but I backed off of it. And I think that was the right thing to do anyway, I need to free my life up for the person who needs to really be there.
Exactly. Time is of the essence, especially with the things you said you have planned for your life. You want to get married again. You want to have a shot at having children. And like we talked about with the timetable, her time to readjust to regular life, I'm sorry, I don't know if I did that or you did that or what. Her time to readjust to life and everything else, was going to throw you off your timetable if you wanted to have children. And then, like you said, the thing that cemented it was her turning around and saying, I reevaluated and I don't think I want to have any more children, which is always a risk.
Let's be very clear too. I'm going to just give honest opinions. I think it was a bullshit. I don't think it was actually the truth. I think I was courting her so hard. I think that was a way for her to back me off of her. That's possibly my opinion of it.
So you think she's running scared?
No, I think that this is her way, like the conversation we're having, saying, hey, this is the right person for you. Sometimes you have to kind of like take how they have to get pit bulls off of another dog, they have to shoot the other dog. I think this is her way to shooting the other dog, shooting the pit bull off of the dog. I mean, that's just one of my thoughts, but like maybe she is telling the truth. But either way, no matter what, it just wasn't the right person.
Facts.
Yeah. So
well, you learn. That's all. I mean, that's all you can ever ask for, man.
All I can say is,
go for it.
You can be a gentleman. Just stop being so nice.
No, that's what I'm saying. I agree with you.
Like I said, I'm a gentleman to a fault. I open doors. I do a lot of things, but I'm blunt and I'm to the point.
All right.
Because I time is of the essence for me. You know what I mean? I don't have time to mess around. No, even with the girl I'm dating now, indirectly is, yo, if you can't get on a voice chat with me right now, forget it.
Yeah, like I said, we didn't have these issues in the other people I dated, but every single person I date, it helps me see things that it could possibly be improved. But yeah, I agree with you. Like some of these things that I've experienced in this, I don't want to ever see this repeated for either of us. For either of us, I don't want the married woman to go through another.
Mean, it makes for good content. You got a lot of just off of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think you were doing it for actually developing content, though. I think you really wanted to have something serious and legitimate.
Absolutely. I possibly fumbled it. That's in my heart of hearts. I think I fumbled it. I think that there was an opportunity. I think I fumbled it.
Well, the kiss thing wasn't necessarily a good look. I don't know how you fumble a kiss. I just don't. The awkwardness of it, and especially at our ages, we should be pros at.
No, I mean
any angle, any way.
No, I'm telling you, you wouldn't believe it. Like I said, I never had that struggle in the other people I've dated, but it's just like this one. It was just a different challenge. I just wasn't prepared. I didn't know. It was hard to kind of deal with it, and I think it was hard for both of us. But that's why chemistry is extremely important. It's just like it's all these different layers of chemistry: sexual chemistry, sapiosexual, kind of like a mental.
Yeah, you're longing to hear from that person, meaning the fact that you could be comfortable and not hear from that person on a daily basis, at least once or twice.
Yeah,
is like that's a non-connection type of thing.
Yeah, I keep going back to like I tried to respect her her space and say, okay, she's got her kid. I'm comfortable not talking to her for the week that she has her kid. That's a mistake. I should have been saying, hey, I know you're going to be settling down. Let me just at least talk for like 15, 20 minutes and just, before you go to bed, blah, blah, blah. But that's how the comfortability set in and start festering and growing, where I was like, oh, okay, well, I got pool. I'm going to Vegas. I've got other stuff going on. I'm busy too. Now it starts to grow. And now we both start to get like super comfortable.
Curious. The weekend that you went to the tournament that you were going to in Vegas,
right?
Was that her weekend off? And did you offer to take her?
No, I did not offer to take her, but the thing was, I was telling her that week, I was like, I just want to see you before I leave and go to Vegas. And she was like, I'm not free until like a couple more weeks. I was like, damn. So I'm like, I'm not gonna be able to see you before I go. We saw maybe a week. We saw each other like a week prior, but go ahead.
Every other weekend she has the kids.
Yes.
But she wasn't free for a couple of weeks.
No, I'm saying, well, yes. I think that
don't sound right. That sounds like she had a trip or something that she already had planned for herself.
Yeah, let me explain. Like she's kind of like a very social person. She was probably dating other people too. But like I think that there were definitely times where she made efforts where she was like, hey, this might be my weekend to have the kid, but I'm gonna have someone watch the kid so I can kind of come out and we can go hang out, blah blah blah. So it's like there were efforts made up until a certain point, but then after that, it's like it started to kind of like really go down or whatever. And I just tried to, as someone was telling this woman I recently met, she was like, "You were trying to revive something that was dead." But like I said, like it's an experience. It was kind of like, if y'all football fans, when you ever saw the Broncos play the Seahawks in the Super Bowl and they just got shell shocked, they just got blown out the gym. Like I was just like, I came there with a high octane offense. It didn't look like it on the scoreboard though. I mean, so it's you learn from it. Next time I get to the Super Bowl, I'm gonna win it. So or I'll do better at least. So like I said, like this experience of like living it out loud and in the public eye. I think it's therapeutic. It helps me, get opinions from other people. I enjoyed when she came on that live. I thought it was like a really genuine moment. I really thought really highly of her. I really was attracted to her in just different ways. It just didn't translate, and that was the first time I ever saw that happen. It was unfortunate.
We gotta get you
Yeah,
to come
can
over
imagine.
on a Thursday, man, to talk to our therapist. She's actually in Atlanta, in what's that called? Marysville? Give me the one that starts with a Marietta.
Yeah.
She's
Marietta,
over there.
Georgia. See, oh,
Yeah,
okay.
over in Marietta. She
Yeah.
deals with relationships, so that's
Well, yeah, I mean, I just had therapy. I have it every Wednesday. So today's I had yesterday. So I talked to my therapist about one of my therapists about the in-network one about, hey, we broke up with the married woman, that we had that conversation, and therapy is important. And I want to speak about this. This is timely. You said, hey, you go to therapy, but you don't listen to your therapist. Well, I'll say this, Fearless. Sometimes that might be I'm on the verge of a breakthrough. And I was actually, when you said that, I was on the verge of a breakthrough. I was about to hit a wall. It shouldn't have had to take this to get to this point, but that's what it happened. Like, now I get to have these conversations and just kind of figure out how the path forward and stuff like that. But like I said, you make the choices you want to make. You live. I choose to live with them. Some gambles don't pay off. This one didn't, but I enjoyed the time I spent with her. Like, this was not like someone who, but when they describe that this definition of a simp, of someone who doesn't. I know we can argue certain things weren't, maybe a certain energy wasn't matched, energy wasn't reciprocated, but this was not a person who was like unattracted to me. It's just it just didn't pan out. I don't think this is the first time I met someone where I think romantically we just weren't compatible. I was
It's just sad that it took this long to figure that out.
Yeah, I didn't want to accept it. I think it goes back to like what you all were saying. I didn't want to accept it. I was like, no. We just one little thing can just turn this. One little pick six, one little scoop and score. We can turn this around.
Well, not if you weren't doing a full court press where you were actually inviting her over to the house and you were kind of talking to her on a regular basis.
I agree.
Sometimes you got to make love to a woman's mind way before you deal with her physically.
Yeah.
And if you can't get that done, then it's a wrap.
Yeah, and I think, like I said, I think that was happening. I think it was that physical intimacy. I mean, affection, that was kind of like the balls dropped specifically. I own the lion's share of it, and I think that kind of like lost confidence and all that kind of stuff, and that kind of turned the tides or whatever. But now I know just to kind of adjust things, get more comfortable with that, and we'll be fine. So that's, like I said, that's the advantage to me, is like I'm gonna just try to adjust every single time.
So do you have any chicks on the roster? I mean, you are in Atlanta.
Let's be clear about that.
So he don't need none. He need to wait until the new year. He need to
let's be clear about this. Serious relationship wise, I'm not trying to.
No, we ain't talking about nothing serious. It's just fun. Who's on your roster, and you got some shorties over there that you could hang with, kind of thing.
I got a friends with
lick your wounds, as they say.
I got a friends with benefits that got stood up yesterday. I mean, just talking. So I might be dabbling in that for a while, just as I recharge.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Like I said, lick your wounds.
Yeah. So, but the problem is, I think the problem I see with that is,
the quicker you can get back on that bicycle, the better off you are. Do not wallow in it.
Yeah. I'm not. Like, my energy was off until yesterday when I connected with this person. They finally messaged back, and then we had a nice little 3-hour FaceTime. I got to see what's going on for tomorrow, because like the text kind of got fumbled today. Like, we didn't really talk text today. We didn't really connect on text today. But the concern I have with that is, the problem is that sometimes people in these friends with benefits apps, they're angling to try to be in a relationship too. And I'm like, that's not what I'm looking for. So at some point I'm going to have to stop.
That's not what you're looking for right now, but with
that person, like,
why is she just friends with benefits? Maybe that will help.
Do we have to?
Why can she never be more than that?
Do we have to answer that question? Oh, I mean, because let's just say this: if you have a friends with benefits, sometimes that person might not be like, you might not be they might not be the person that you're the most attracted to. I guess
she got a banging body, but she ain't the one.
Butterface.
It could be that. It could be that. It could be a butterface. It could be a butter body. Let's just say that. But I'm just saying, I I'm just saying, like, I agree with you. Things can, and if they are supposed to be, develop into more, fine. But I'm like, right now, I just need to kind of like cruise at a speed and just kind of like work on me and just kind of get needs met. And then and just.
Now,
Yeah.
Chris, you've been working on yourself.
Yeah, been a married man, Chris, and this is why I use the Maya person. You get it. The hardest time to find a job is when you don't have a job.
Right.
Because you have a desperation on your face. People know that you having a dry spell. But if you hanging, when you out with a pretty woman or you out with some other women will hit on you. Other women will start to be attracted to you. So maybe you go out with some women and, hang out with them. You'll see
Let them be your wingman. Next thing you know,
let them be your wingman.
You all up in something that night, and it ain't one of them.
Yeah, I mean, I get you. Yeah, and I'm not against that. I think that's a good idea. But like I said, it's not as far away as it seems. Like we'll be fine. I'm not struggling to date. I'm not struggling to. It's as I told Fearless earlier. It's like the struggle is: do I choose to settle or do I choose to go after the woman who I really want?
You go after them both. I mean, you just meaning.
Somewhere in the middle.
You do your in the meantime, and then you make sure that you.
So do you have an objective woman that you really want, that you're waiting on something for?
Well, I'm saying like there's at least one or two in Bumble that I'm really attracted to, but I think I need to kind of take some time off and get myself ready to be emotionally available again.
The 26th, that would be the good date. Don't get to them now. They're going to want a Christmas gift. 26th.
Bro, I was thinking about taking like a couple months off, honestly. Like just
no, that's too long, bro.
No.
Yeah.
That's too long.
No. Over what? You said you had a whole great experience with this woman. Don't turn it into something negative. Yeah. Hey, I learned some life lessons. I knew I need to be a little more aggressive, but still can be a gentleman. But I need to be a little more blunt, be a little more direct on what we're going and what we're doing. Even if it's just a date, we're just hanging out and seeing how the vibe hits. That's it. But keep pressing forward. Don't say, well, I need to reevaluate it. No, you've been evaluating for the last 10, 11 months.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, sometimes I need to like recharge. Like, I know this married woman experience, like it kind of drained me to certain in some ways it drained me, in some ways it didn't. It never drained me. But
if anything, it should have been a release. Unless it hurt you that she told you the truth.
No. The truth doesn't hurt. It was just like disappointment. It was disappointment of like, man, I feel like if we just got that scoop and score, man, if we could have just, you're looking at the tablet, you're like, fuck, we made these mistakes, blah, blah, blah. But like, I'm not down in the dumps. I'm just saying, I know I need to, like Ozzy's saying, get back in the field. I get it. But it's okay to kind of like go on IR for a little bit and come back.
No.
Because you're not really hurt, brother. You just disappointed.
Hurt,
it's like this. You the quarterback that just threw an interception. Now you gonna take yourself out the game? I threw that. I fumbled. Now I got to get back in.
Right.
Well, yeah. I mean, I hear you. I agree with what you're saying. It's like, I agree with it. I don't really have any pushback to that. I'm just saying, after breakups, I know this is technically not a breakup. It's just like, I know I want
this ain't even a breakup. This is just clarity. And at that point, once you get clarity, you should be excited because now it's no doubt. You know exactly where you stand, so you can move on without any kind of feeling of guilt or like you led somebody else on.
Right. No, I'm not disagreeing with y'all. I just think that, like I said, I even talked to the guardian. She was like, "You're not ready yet." I agree, and I led with that first. It's gonna be okay. Like these women are gonna be here. I'm not gonna take a year off. But let's see what's Robert saying. Hold on. He's listening to old news. I don't know. But I'm gonna be fine. I just know the type of energy, the type of person I want to show up as, and I want to make sure that I'm 100% in on all facets. So I'll be fine. Like I said, I might just instead of playing
by New Year's, you need to be in a group of people having a good ass time and see what happens. You never know. Some random chick might be right behind you when you
Oh,
bump
I don't know.
into her
I don't know
with
if y'all.
mistletoe, and the next thing you know, you slobbing her down. You just don't know.
I don't know if y'all heard it earlier. The New Year's is already rebooked. This woman, she's a little older than me. So I think she's like 4 years older than me.
See, he went with comfortable.
Hold on, but this woman is bad though. She plays in my pool league, and I was like, we just happened to talk about Thanksgiving. I was like, what were you doing for your Thanksgiving? How was your Thanksgiving? And I was like, hey, I cooked the whole Thanksgiving. And she's like, well, when are you gonna cook? I don't know if she said when are you gonna cook for me or like, hey, I'd like to try something. And I was like, well, whenever the next holiday is, I'll do that. But I was like, New Year's is kind of a romantic holiday. She's like, no, it's not. Just come out with me and my friends. I'm like, all right, we'll do that then. An excuse to dress up or whatever the fuck. But
there you go.
So, like I said, I will be fine. This just might be a situation where I just decide not to plan the Olympics this session. I'll just take the month or two off and just come back when the season starts. You know, I'll be fine. The women are not going anywhere. I want to make sure that I bring what I brought to the married woman to the right woman next time. I don't want her getting a discount. I don't want her
but
getting.
The whole thing is, you don't want to go too strong, too hard out the paint.
Right.
Just be casual about it.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. Yeah, I know that. Like, I got a lot of stuff, good things going for me. I know what I bring to the table. I hate saying that term, but like, I'm fine. It's just like I said, like everybody has some weaknesses, you know. So I just, you know, I'm the person who's always willing to improve on them. But like I said, I'm fine. Like I'm not.
You ever hear this?
I'm gonna say this,
like, when a brother says he's fine, he's not fine.
I think you're absolutely wrong in what you just said, man.
Say that again.
I think you are absolutely wrong on what you said. You said, I know what I bring to the table. I don't think so. Because if you knew what you brought to the table, your whole standard would be entirely different. Because if I go through and I say, man, I make well over 6 figures. I'm physically fit. I'm educated. I've world traveled. I speak different languages. If I said that to a woman, that means I know where I stand. Mm-hmm. I know what I bring to the table, and I know I can't sell myself short. Mm-hmm. It's like somebody saying they're gonna give me a discount for this Bentley. No, brother, there's no discount to the Bentley. I know what the Bentley is.
Right.
So you I don't think you know what you bring to the table because you giving discounts.
How am I giving discounts? Let's have that conversation.
Because you saying you have this to offer. Yeah. And by that to offer, you should be the prize. You should be what somebody else is pursuing, but you are the pursuer. If you are a Bentley doesn't go on sale. Right. A Bentley doesn't even need to advertise because people already know what it is and they want to buy it. They are bidding to buy it. Right. Where you are putting on your Kmart stuff where you're saying, oh, well, I'll discount this, or maybe she won't go for this. I'll put that on sale, or So I don't think you know what you bring to the table.
I don't know. I respectfully disagree. I know what I bring to the table. That's why I say, like, when Richard says, is it over for Chris? Is he not going to be able to start a family? Is he not going to be able to date? I think he's more saying about the kids situation. It's never going to be over unless something catastrophically happens to me. If a pit bull bites if an ape tears my face off, if I get 3rd-degree burns all over my body or something like that, and I turn into Two-Face, I get it. But hold up, these tables will be turned.
Everybody been saying my wife gonna leave me. Every time I ask her that, she keeps saying, "Well, when? I need to know when I'm gonna leave you."
I'm just gonna be focused on me, and like I said, I will be fine. I'm a high effort, attractive guy.
But see, let me do the Ryan. See, Ryan, here's the thing. I don't live in that scarcity mindset. I don't live saying, man, she may leave me, she may do this, because I know my value. I know if my wife left me, I could find someone else immediately. I know what I bring to the table. So I don't concern myself with what she gonna do, when she gonna do it. I don't have time for that. See, it's just like my job and my position. I know my skill level and I know the value that I bring. If that job said we don't need you anymore, I know that with what I have and what I bring, I can be hired immediately. If I wanted to quit today, I can be hired immediately. So you concern yourself, that's a weak-minded man who concerns himself with a scarcity mindset and worried about what some woman's going to do. I don't let somebody else control the outcome of the game. I'm in full
Your
control.
values is nothing if you can't keep what? That's not making sense. What is
Yeah,
it?
it's the
Keep what?
education level.
What keep?
Hold on.
No idea. No one knows.
But bringing it back, like I said, I know I'm gonna be fine. And good. Your value is nothing if you can't keep. But let's say this.
I still don't even know what that means. Maybe
Um,
define it.
I guess keep your wife. I don't know.
The bottom line is this: I'm not worried. The same thing that you said about the job stuff. Like I already know I'm well above the average. I'm in the top tier of.
I mean, as long as you're going out for New Year's, you got a group of people to go party with, man, that's good. Here's the biggest thing. I know a lot of people during the holidays get really depressed, especially if they're alone.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So I'm just saying, don't let that affect, what you could possibly be doing.
Oh no, I'm good. I'm over it. I'm over it. Like I'm not. Y'all can listen to the stream. I didn't cry. Not a tear swelled. I'm good. Like I said, I'm gonna have fun on New Year's, all that kind of stuff. Like I'm moving forward, I just look at it and I say, hey, it was this person's loss. This person
Exactly the way you should be looking at it.
Yeah, that's all I see it as. Let's see what this is.
Nothing. Man, am I reading this fundamental?
I see what she's saying. I see what it's saying. I see what it's saying.
Your value is nothing if a woman keeps if a woman keeps leaving. Is that what he's saying?
That's what she did. It's a she. Right.
Read that to me, because I'm not maybe it's late and I'm just
It says your value is nothing if a woman keeps leaving. But just to translate that, there's a lot of guys, I know we speak about the manosphere and all that kind of stuff. It only really, what they're saying only matters if they're able to keep a woman. This is the only woman that I really couldn't out from my way to it. Other women, they're like, hey, let's be exclusive, and I'm the one kind of bucking.
No, see that.
But even the way that's written it's like as if a woman defines us, and that's not the way we think. Women don't define us; they can come and go as they.
No, I think what I'm getting from it,
our own women when we want.
Well,
it's just a matter of if you value yourself, you got to value yourself first before you could even be attracted or attractive for a woman to even want to deal with you.
I agree with that, but what I'm saying is, for the guy,
and just let me say this real quick, Chris. I think it's not if you can keep it. A man is defined by the woman he can get. A woman is defined by the man she can retain. It don't matter if we retain. We're always just getting. So don't think that.
Well, I'm saying this. What I'm trying to say is there are guys who can consistently not keep a woman around, keep a woman satisfied, keep a woman happy, and that is a problem.
That is a problem that they need to address.
That's what I'm saying.
And like I said, and you go through you're dealing with your therapist and things, and that's great. And like I told you, in between my marriages, I did the same thing. I took a minute, take a breath, reevaluated some of the things I might have done in a relationship as a mistake or whatever. Made sure I talked to a therapist and before I got back out there taking some kind of toxic trait onto the next relationship. You'll never hear me say something in a relationship, well, my ex did this, that, and the other thing. I don't even keep pictures around. Matter of fact, my girlfriend's like, what does your ex look like? Couldn't tell you. I don't keep pictures like that. Why am I reminiscing about the past? I don't even keep pictures of my ex-wives. I literally had to go on my son's website just to pull a picture down of what she looked like. For what? Why am I having those around the house? That means I'm harboring some kind of feeling towards that picture of that event. For what?
Don't say that, because I don't even want to ask Chris if he keep pictures of his ex-wife around.
It's over here. There's some great memories, but that's what I'm trying to say, Fearless and Ronan. Everybody processes things the same. I look at it and I say, "Wow, my ex-wife was very beautiful." I remember how happy I was.
But if you had a guest come in your house to see,
I don't think he has no pictures of her. I hope not.
No,
you don't have pictures of
of your ex hanging around the house in a picture. Still, not a good look.
Well, it's the where I will push back a little bit. I get that, Ronan, but it's just like people.
Yeah, you know what? No, I can't say it because Chris, you're in a different situation, man.
Explain it.
Because and you're in a different situation than Ronan. I could see Ronan having pictures around if he has children, because it's like, oh, that's the mother of my children.
Yeah.
You really don't have anything to tie you to the ex-wife anymore.
Yeah, I know, but everybody has different policies and principles. Like for me, I might have a picture of my ex like tucked down inside like an alpha storage underneath, laundry and other stuff like that, and other like envelopes and stuff. But that relationship is done. I haven't talked to her since we were going through a divorce. That's 3 years ago. Maybe 3.5. Almost 3. Maybe going on 3.5. But like it's done. Sure, it could, if someone was to become Molly May and say, "Okay, let me go clean and go up at every nook and cranny and see that."
Do you know women? Women will fine-tooth comb your house if you leave them alone for the first time. They will go through everything.
I remember when I was dating the woman in St. Louis, and we had a conversation of exes. Like she had pictures of this ex that she broke up with, and it was really a bad spot in her dating experience. And we just kind of exchanged pictures, and we said, "Hey, this is with me. This was you." Blah blah blah. So like I get it's a best practice, but I'm just saying like.
But why, if she had a bad experience with the guy, would she still keep the picture?
Like I said, everybody's different, Ronan. Like you delete people out of your phone. I don't do that. I just don't talk to them anymore.
Well, here's the reason why I do it.
The married woman, I'll tell you what I did. The married woman went on IG yesterday, muted her stories, muted her posts. I still follow her. She still follows me. But I'm not going to be seeing her on my feed.
Yeah, I don't want to see live feeds or whatever the hell she's doing. For what?
Yeah.
But my thing is, and my mentality is, it's not for me necessarily. It's for my future. Why would I want my future woman or the person I care about to have to worry about me harboring some feelings for somebody that is supposedly dead to me in my mindset, and she's my focus?
Where I'll split
she's going to doubt the fact that I really am focused on her if I'm still harboring feelings of my past.
Where I'll split the difference with you, Ronan, is right now where I'm a bachelor, I'm not married, I'm not engaged. I can do whatever the hell I want.
You absolutely can.
Now, when I get remarried and I start a family, maybe I don't want that anymore. That's completely done. Maybe at some point I might say, you know what, I don't care to have this anymore for any kind of reason. But like right now, I'm just like, I don't mind reminiscing on the memories and saying I don't want to ever go back there. That was a point in time, and look at look at the wife that I used to have. Like I remember the good times, but not want to go back. But I get where you're coming from.
Mm-hmm.
I don't,
especially in the days of social media, man, making comments on people's pages
she even pops up. She'll pop up as a suggested friend on IG. I don't go look at her page. I do look at it'll pop up, and I'll say, "Oh, I'll just look." But
y'all still have the same circle of friends?
No, they were all her friends.
No,
but no, we have not talked. Nope. But I get it. I get what you're saying. But like I said, for right now, it was like when my grandma on my mom's side passed, and they were cleaning out that house. There was like I think it was like a wedding book or photo book of my wedding, and I was like, hey, or pictures. I was like, hey, send that to me. Like it, I wouldn't mind. It's just a memory of like what things used to be, and that there was some preciousness about those memories and innocence about those memories and stuff like that.
I think I downsized my life. I had lived in so many different houses and had so much stuff. And I was like, why am I moving stuff from one place to another?
Exactly.
And you accumulate, the longer you're somewhere, you accumulate more things that you're like, how the hell? When I first moved into this place, it was nice and tidy and a minimalist type of situation. Next thing you know, you look back 3-4 years, you're like, God damn, I got all this stuff in here now? Nah. So I always go through a downsizing anytime I move. I start giving stuff out. I start throwing stuff away. Then I'm just like, I'm not packing something just to take to another place that ain't worth my time or
The,
my
the,
effort.
the other thing, Ronan, is when you're talking about you getting rid of pictures that involve your ex, some of those were family pictures. Are you going to delete those family pictures?
Is she
What
in the
family
family?
pictures?
Yes. When you're married
No.
to someone, they're in the family pictures with the grandmas and all that.
No, we didn't do all that.
Okay.
That was a convenient thing. With my second wife, we never did any of that.
Yeah.
She
Well, I
had
mean, if you
family.
keep
We
them,
had
you know,
family photos
I
with her
think here's the
family,
thing, Chris. You
but
keep
not
them
mine.
until you meet the person that you know. Then you
I
don't need
agree.
them anymore.
I agree. I agree. I don't have anything. I don't got any pushback for that.
And the only reason I would keep pictures, and even it would be my first wife who I had kids with, is because of the kids.
Right.
If I didn't have kids with you, oh my God, oh, you're exed. You're done. It's nothing.
Yeah.
If I don't have kids with you, where's the tie at? There isn't one.
Yeah. Yeah. I get it. But I think like I said, going off script, I think that there's something really great coming my way again. I think I've gotten great things coming my way when I wasn't ready. I've come in and maybe been a great person to someone who wasn't the right person at times, maybe. So something great is going to come my way. And I think the good thing about it is I'm going to be ready next time. And it's going to be really interesting to see.
People come into your life for a reason, a season or a
Season or
lifetime.
Yeah, I agree. There was a reason for the married woman.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, life lessons were learned.
Yeah.
And progress is going to be made.
Oh yeah. I will
Some
never.
people like to bang their head up against the wall several times before they get that life lesson.
I will never date another married person. It's the only other situation that's going to happen is it's going to have to be a family friend, a family friend where I know exactly where their head is at. But I don't think I'm going to be dating anyone else.
So you're already thinking wrong.
Like,
The reason I'm saying that is if you're getting married and you want to have kids, and you're not thinking about dealing with any other married woman besides a woman that's going to be your wife.
Well, I'm just saying I never say never, but this is pretty much a never. I was just trying to be a contrarian.
You're a manifester. Claim the next woman you meet is going to be your wife.
Right. Oh, I said that in other words a couple minutes ago. I said something great is coming. I don't know if it's going to be the next. I don't know if it'll be the next
New Year's Eve. Could be your little friend.
It
might bring somebody else that's along that's right in your profile.
Absolutely. Hold on. Let's see. I want your happiness to be defined. You'll find it. Yeah. Oh well, this person was about to be a divorcee. I don't know if a divorcee is when the decree is final or if it's someone going through a divorce as well.
No,
but
she's done. Yeah, the divorcee means exactly that. She's done.
Okay.
Yeah, she's already gone through her process.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I get it. I had to test that and realize no, I don't. I made this joke with someone. I said dating someone who's going through a divorce is almost like love after lockdown. When they get out of jail, the first thing they want to do is not go straight to the altar.
I told you that. I said the last thing that woman want to do.
And hence why we're saying if you weren't knocking boots in the 3 to 4 months after the intensity of her dealing with some asshole she didn't really like or care for, I'm like, yo, something's not right.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's under the X Files for Smaller and Mulder or whatever. But all I'm saying is this: I understood that Fearless, that like she was not in a rush. I was willing to wait for the right person. I just know that waiting, and I'm not opposed to doing that in the future of Ronan and Fearless, but that wait can't be undefined. It's got to be, hey, you know what? I just need maybe to get a couple things moving and shaking, maybe like 6 months, 12 months while we
whoa,
let me finish. While we are also working and getting our needs met and we're bonding during that time. We can't do it like this, where there's distance all over across the board. We can't do it like that.
Yeah, because
Chris, I don't know why you should even have a problem, man, because Atlanta is filled with women who have put their career first, which means they didn't, they passed up time to have children, and now they're late in their career with no children, It should be like they.
That's
Well,
the
I
number one
understand what you're
complaint in a
saying.
lot of
Maybe you're
places.
looking for a
Where are the
specific
good
type of
men
woman.
at? I just want to have one good man.
Hold on 1 second. Rick, I have no problems getting women at all. It's the women I choose to be with, and those that might not always work out. So, like I said earlier on the stream, I think I don't mind it living my life as a public figure, putting my business out there. I like transparency. I don't want to be one of those people where it's like, oh my gosh, Chris got slapped in an elevator, and then I come out and say everything's okay, everything's okay. That wasn't what you thought. No, I want to have these kind of conversations, and it gets uncomfortably transparent. That's just the way I want to live. So the thing is, Rick, your life isn't. We don't get to see your failures. We don't get to see the homework that you have to come home and do or refuse to do. You do for me because I live to be transparent, and the goal for me is you're never gonna be able to say I was fake. You're never gonna be able to do that. You're never gonna say, "Oh, it was so easy for Chris. It was so easy. It wasn't. He never had to put any work in." That's not true. My journey is gonna show that. So, you guys are throwing stones from a glass house. You're just behind a screen name. But anyway, I forget what we were talking about.
No, we're talking about timetables.
Oh yeah, we're gonna tighten that up. We're gonna stress that. We're gonna tighten that up within reason. We're not gonna be going crazy with it, but we're gonna just make sure that goals align, chemistry aligns, effort aligns, and all that kind of stuff. All the things align. So,
and look, Chris, if women can put together a list, I don't know why you can't. You put together a list and you say, this is what I'm going for. You know, they want a guy 6 foot tall, 6 figures, 6 inches. And, you know, they had that whole list.
I do too. I have that list. That's why, like I said, I could settle, but I'm choosing to go after the woman I want. The reason why I dated married the woman was she had a lot of things that I wanted. Sure, she had some things I didn't. I did not want to wait. I did not want. Optimally, I would not want to date someone who can't have another kid for whatever type of reason. But like I said, everything will be okay. It's not that I don't have a list and saying, oh, you know what? I'll just take I don't know, a woman who's not attractive. Khloe Kardashian. No, she's not attractive.
I thought she kind of got a little bit better with that makeover or something.
Yeah, I like Khloe. Khloe's nice. Chloe's the thicker one. She's the taller one, right?
She's the one that has the chicken, the grilled, the unseasoned chicken hands. It looks like death.
I don't look at women's hands.
I ain't watching
Chris. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. They zoomed in on her, and she had these pale hands that looked like she was 80 years old or something like that. So I'm like, nah, I've never found her to be attractive. But like I said, we're gonna be perfectly fine. And I think what my journey shows is I'm not a person who's gonna quit. Like dating.
I got one more question.
Go for it. I'll shoot from the hip.
Because my baby gonna be waking up in a little bit. Why is it? And this just a question. Why is it that you would not open your horizon and date outside of your race?
I'm attracted. There's this song from Young Money called "Every Girl." I'm attracted to literally every woman. Priyanka. I don't know if I ever read my top 5. Let me just do it here so you can get a picture. Let's see. Priyanka Chopra is on one of them. Let me just find the list. Kate Winslet, Priyanka Chopra, Lupita, Melanie Libbert. She was on The Power Ghost. Tulsi Gabbard. Listen, I love me an older woman. Don't judge me. Keisha Lance Bottoms. I love me an older woman. Don't judge me. Megan Good, Scarlett Johansson.
See, Scarlett. There's a white woman there.
Kiki Wyatt. That was my high school crush. Don't judge me, y'all.
No, I like Kiki.
Yeah, me too. She's not in the top 5 anymore because the looks are not keeping her. It's she's
slimmed down a lot.
But yeah, so to answer your question directly, Fearless, because I remember when I got out of my divorce, when I was going through my divorce, And I was like, I don't know if my next woman is going to be a Jewish spinster. I don't know if she's going to be Indian. I don't know if she's going to be Mexican. I don't know if she's going to be black. I don't know I don't know what she's going to be. And it wasn't until I dated my on again, off again ex on the first date, and she was just like, we meaning black women, we just love y'all meaning black men. And I was like, why? Why are y'all being loyal to black men? I don't get it. I don't understand it. You're limiting your options. It makes no sense on the numbers. Y'all can't. There are more of y'all than there are men, in terms of black men. It doesn't make sense. And what I took from that was the fact that I'm going to try to do the best I can to kind of explain how I felt back then. But I was like, the fact that they're going to hold us down and be loyal to us. I have a plethora. I have more than enough choices in Atlanta to date. Attractive women, successful women like
you're definitely in the right market for a black woman.
Yeah, so I'm saying I'm not struggling to find great, attractive black women. Why do I need to look elsewhere? I could, but I don't need to for any reason. That's why.
And I'm not even saying look. I'm just saying open. You know,
I'm attracted. I'm open. Every once in a while, you'll see one slide.
He said, "I'm a red-blooded American. I'm attracted to anything."
No, I'm attracted to anything. But I think
as long as it's beautiful, as long as she got some looks.
Absolutely. Like I said, Priyanka Chopra. Nobody's gonna tell me that's not a beautiful woman.
Well, I can tell you without a doubt, this is the first Asian woman I've ever considered doing anything long term with.
Nice.
I've always dated black women.
Listen, you go see the movie Shang-Chi. There were some beautiful Asian women in that movie.
I've always dated black women.
Yeah.
That was my go-to. And I would like to say most black men prefer black women priority first.
Right.
It's just when they start having toxic experiences, they start looking at other options.
Yeah.
Just like, the sisters have toxic experience with brothers. I'm not saying it goes one way. And then they start looking outside.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, like I said, the goal is I'm gonna date black, remarry black. But like I said, it's not the
children black.
It's not. For
no matter what person you marry, all your children are gonna be black.
I agree with that too. But it's not that I'm not attracted to. Listen, I go to Orange Theory Fitness, and those are primarily white. And there's some women over there who
got
are
them booties in there too. No snow bunnies, man. Snow bunnies looking good now.
They eating good. I mean,
the women in the
especially down south, and there's a special kind of air down there. I don't know. They all growing donkeys.
Snow bunnies eating that southern meal, man.
They eating that collard greens, cornbread, fried fish, and grits.
Yeah, but
jambalaya.
But like I said, there are so many different reasons why I have an advantage. Just being a black man who wants to get married, I am on the favorable side of things. So it's just now, how high do I want to punch up? That kind of eats at that advantage, and it maybe puts me sometimes at a disadvantage. But I'll be fine. I'm gonna be perfectly fine. I'm gonna make sure that no matter who the woman is, how attractive the woman is,
but if she's younger to you, you're not punching up. You're reaching down to pull her up. Because you're way more established than any person that you would meet that's younger than you.
Yeah.
So you're not punching up. Like, if anything, you're just picking for the cream of whatever crop you're shopping in, but you're going to pull her up to your level anyway. That's the difference.
Right. Yeah. I think there's truth to that. I'm just saying, like, these women who are highly desirable, they have other successful men too. That, like when I dated the woman in St. Louis, this woman was extremely. I've never seen someone this. I've never been attracted to a person like this ever in my life, besides her. And I just felt. I never feel insecure. I think the little insecure that did slip through was I was like, I feel like this woman could do better than me.
Never think that.
But not saying that I'm not a catch. I was just like, I just felt like I said, regardless of her age, and she's like 42 now. So I was 39, she was 39, just about to be to 39. I just felt it wasn't until like we broke up and I realized actually we're both kind of rare.
And you don't want to, you know, I've been in that situation. You don't want to be with someone who, I know it seems weird. You don't want to be with someone that you are more attracted to. I think a woman should always be more attracted to you. Because if not, you will, you go down them steps, man. And that's when a guy really falls hard. And when a guy falls, it's much more difficult for him to recover. Women recover faster and better from relationships than men.
I mean, I agree with that in practice. Like, I think that's been typically the solution is like find the one, like Money Travel said, love the one who loves you, not the one you love. But even with like the married woman, it's like if I learn what her love language is and I'm able to kind of like satisfy that, it can work. But that's why I always say,
yeah, but it shouldn't have to be an effort that way. It should be effortless.
correct. That's why I always kind of tell people, like, I really just swipe on the women who swipe on me first, so that's already baked in. We don't have to worry about whether she's attracted to me. She swiped on me first; she's attracted to me. So, but that's gonna even that's gonna be kind of changed a little bit as I put myself in other situations to meet people and be more social. So, but everything will be fine. I'm not a guy who's I'm great company. Like I said, I'm attractive. I'll be fine. More than fine.
That, bro. We know it. You know, that's just
Yeah, just don't wait to get back on the wheel, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no purpose because at this point, all you got was clarity. There should be no pain from it. It could be a little sorrow and heartache just because of the fact that you're relishing the time that you vested in the relationship. And maybe it's a little fruitless.
Don't use that word. Remember, return on investment.
No.
Good now,
invested meaning time. Listen.
Now.
No. I didn't say return on investment. I said time vested. What did we say? One thing you can't get back is what? Your time.
Mm-hmm.
You vested time, 11 months.
But I still think it's that return on investment.
You gain some knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
You gain some experience with dealing with that type of person.
Right.
And now you're progressing forward. So, but it was still a 10, 11 month lesson.
Right.
In return, what I mean by that, Chris, is like you were saying, you were betting and you double down and double down. You want to hit. You want to at least get back what you put in.
Oh, here we go.
Right. I agree with that. And I was doing the long game, and I think the long game was like
long game. I don't know, married woman. I mean, I'm sorry, a woman getting divorced. You can't play the long game with them.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I had to learn that. Like I said, like it's not to say that there aren't some diamonds in the rough.
And it's not like she was trying to screw you over or anything. It's just like we already knew she wouldn't be ready, and we kind of ran that down to you, but I don't know if you had a wing or a hope and you had an inkling of thinking that maybe she could be somebody that in the future you could be with, but like timing is everything.
Yeah, and where I agree with that is the time that they need off. Like when I was in a position and I was going through my divorce, I knew I wasn't ready. I knew I didn't want a long-term relationship. How long it was going to take for me to be where I am now, I wouldn't have been able to tell you in 2021. 2024 is the year. So she might say, "Hey, I'm not in a rush to get remarried." I'm sure she has no idea how many years or months she needs, and that's a problem.
All I can say is you don't know how long the car has been in the garage.
What do you mean by that?
Think about it. It's a metaphor. Car has been in the garage.
Right.
It hasn't been test driven for a while.
I see. No,
because
but we were
working out in a relationship. And like you said, her girlfriends were advising her to go out and have some fun. So that's a little insight by what they said.
But
she hasn't been having fun.
Right.
And her girlfriends know her best.
Right. And she wasn't doing it. And she was saying, "Hey, I'm getting back out in the dating scene. I know you're telling me to go have a hoe phase. I don't want one. I already had my fun."
She's saying that out loud to you, but that's not what she means.
Yeah, maybe not. But all I'm saying is, there's like I said earlier, there's the fact that she isn't is possibly true, and the fact that she is possibly true. We don't know. Only she knows. Only her and her girlfriends know. I mean,
exactly. But her girlfriend saying it kind of leads to, do they know a little bit more about her to actually voice that out loud.
Right.
You need to go have fun.
Right. And probably, what the hell are you doing with Chris? This is ridiculous.
I go that far, that's on you.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is, if her girlfriend's saying she needs to go out and have fun, and they know her best because they've seen her life,
Right.
and that means she's been not too active.
Right. Right. So I agree.
I got a question, and I'm gonna get off here and after this one. I know
Yeah.
I'm saying that, but I have to. 2025, March 2025. Married lady
I'll
comes
be in the
knocking on the
Philippines.
door.
Oh no. Looks like this is good. I can ace this test right here. I've spoke about this.
Now look, Chris.
Go ahead.
I've been
No. Sweeten the
I've
deal.
been thinking about it. I know
sweeten
we had
the deal.
a great time, Chris.
No, sweeten the deal. We gotta say she's coming back with a trench coat, nothing underneath. She's sending spicy pictures.
I've had that happen, bro. I had to kick my boy out the house.
She's saying, I'm sorry. I said I didn't want to have any more kids. I reconsider. I dated, and I haven't found anybody. I want to give this a try. I told y'all on the live that nobody can spin the block. I'm gonna give you a pass for that. I'm still gonna say no. Because you asked me the same thing. You said, "Hey, why don't you want to rekindle something? Why don't you rekindle something with your ex-wife?" And I said, on 2 occasions, I said, and I might actually lift it for the woman in St. Louis. I said, my ex-wife and I dated for 13 years, and we didn't get to where we needed to get to. That time was, we could have gotten a whole lot more accomplished in that time. We didn't. It's now time for someone else to have an opportunity. It's now time. There's other factors involved. It's like, do the families want to see you back with each other? There's a reason why we weren't able to get to
exactly
what we need to get to, and we need to respect that and let them find other people to be happy with. Same thing with a married woman. Married woman, I'm sorry. I know you're probably not listening to the podcast. I've dated people for a month or two and been further than you are and I were in 10. So there's a reason why there's a reason why it took 10, and I'm not saying it's a bad reason, but more effort should have been put in to correct that and make sure that it had every opportunity to thrive. So no love lost. I'm just saying, no, the time I can't. I look at it and I say, Fearless, she doesn't respect the time in the way that
11 months
that is respectful to both of us.
Yeah.
I know she's going through her process. She deserves all the time she wants, but her and I are not a match. And it wasn't just the time; it was other issues. Like I was telling when we talked last time, you said Ronan was like, "What else is there to work on?" There's a whole lot more because like we haven't really bonded. We don't even know if sexually we're compatible. We don't even know if we are compatible in the same space.
Oh my God, that's such a problem.
Yeah, so it's a problem. I agree. So I'm just saying, no. Like the woman in St. Louis, I even quoted that last time y'all asked me that. And I said we haven't talked in like I did reach out to her and I said, hey, I understand what you said when I wasn't ready to date you in 2021. But with this time when I talked to her, I didn't throw any compliments. I didn't say, hey, are you dating anybody? Can I get another shot? I didn't say nothing. I just said I wanted to let you know I came full circle. Thank you for speaking something into me. And how are you doing? How's your family doing? That's it. But no, I agree with you on the scarcity mindset thing. Like something better is coming. And I think the one thing that would have sweetened the deal, Fearless, is me and my on again, off again ex. We broke up a handful of times, if not more. But we broke up every single time with love for each other on good terms, never wasting each other's time. We got a whole lot. Every single time we were all in. So that's the reason why I would do it with a married woman is because she was never really all in. Yeah. That's the problem.
Exactly.
Or she was, and I might not have been ready. But I'm saying, besides that,
you would know if she was all in.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, the handsies, the intensity every time you guys were around each other would have all been there.
Yeah, she said, like I said, she wanted a boyfriend.
The whole thing with her going home versus her inviting herself to your house.
Yeah,
that's a whole nother thing.
Right. I agree with that. Like I said, I give her credit for, hey, she wanted a boyfriend about 3 months in. I kind of I kind of said, well, we'll get it next time it comes around. Never came around again. So after that point, like I said, she did put forth some type of effort, but not very, maybe like maybe a half of the time or at best. But like I said, no, I would not. I couldn't do it because, like I said, like I had thoughts of like, hey, let's just go through with New Year's Eve and let's put an ultimatum out for January 1st and say our needs aren't getting met. We need some changes. And I said, I don't know if I want to do an ultimatum. So I was just like, so no. The answer is no.
You did it right. You cleaned the clock before the beginning of the year. You start off fresh at the beginning of the year.
Yeah. But no, I wouldn't. I would not. It would be tempting. But no, nothing relationship wise. Where I'm probably gonna fall, Fearless, is what I always say is your language. I would fall for some bed sheets, but that's about it. But so some thread counts.
Wow.
But that might be it.
As long as you go into it knowing, hey, this is where I'm at. You're honest with the other person, and y'all on the same.
Yeah. Like you've had that before. Like you said, you've had at least as much as 5, and now all knew about each other. And that's the nice thing about society nowadays, is the more honest you are, the better off you are when it comes to dealing with women. All you have to do is tell them where you at in your place and time, and they have a choice of whether they want to deal with you or not. And 9 times out of 10, they'll deal with you in the situation and the place you are.
Correct.
Yeah, it's. I'll be honest with you. In the past, it's been hard to. I keep extending this conversation. I'm going to say this last thing I'll say is like it's sometimes hard to be transparent about that. But
why? You already said there are more of them than us.
Yep.
You are a high earner, so
right.
You are a desirable part of the community.
Right.
There's not that many of us.
Right.
So if they want to have an opportunity to win you over, where they say they don't want to compete, they really do. And as long as they know they are competing and there is a group of other women that are vying for your time, then it's up to her to step up to say how much of that time she wants to try to take up of yours.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And if you know what you bring to the table, for instance, if Drake said, look, I got somebody. I ain't trying to settle down. What you think they're going to say?
That's okay. I can be a side chick.
Exactly. Because he knows what his worth is.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I said, just know your worth, brother. That's all.
Yeah, I think I do. I think I know what I want. I think I know how I need to show up. Like I said, we'll be fine. I'm not worried. It's not woe is me. I'm not crying. I'm good. I'm looking out for the next great person. It's gonna come. I just don't know when.
You never do. They smack you upside the head later.
Yeah.
Well, brother, we do a Thursday night therapy, so I guess we kind of continued our Thursday night therapy.
Yeah, we did.
With Chris. Chris, we appreciate you letting us on. We hope that from last time we were on to this time, it seems like there was a
huge
great
change,
learning
man.
curve.
Congratulations on making your decision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it took a village.
That's all right.
I really wanted that New Year's Eve. I really did.
You still can have it.
Yeah, you can have it. It's just gonna be with somebody else.
Group of people, not just one.
I wanted
one that you were awkwardly involved with.
I wanted that bear rug. I wanted that.
You never know on New Year's Eve, depending on where you go. You are in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Where that ends up at by January 1.
Yeah.
It might not even be at your house. It could be in a whole nother place.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I'm sure you're not going to drink and drive. You call Uber, or you might wind up renting a hotel room. You never know where parties end up at.
Right. All right, but I'm gonna let y'all go.
Good luck, brother.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Y'all take care.
We don't talk again. Merry Christmas.
Oh, you too. Happy holidays to everybody.
Yep.
Yep.
All right. Bye.
All right.
Bye.